Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Octane Online Racing Simrigs.com Sprint Series. And yeah, it's round 6 today. Welcome everyone in chat. Lovely to have you here. We're at Suzuka, as you can see. We're here for Split Blue and Split Red this evening. Of course, starting out today with Split Blue, and in typical Split Blue style, they've called on the heavens, and the blue rain is coming out of the sky, and we've got a bit of rain on track. We'll talk about that in just a moment. My name is George Cook. I'm here in the commentary box for your race this evening for Split Blue, and I will be joined by Sean Muller in due time. He's running just a little bit late on his own schedule, nothing he's got control over, sadly, so he will join us at some point, but nonetheless, we are here for round 6. 15 minutes of qualifying has begun already. We're following it up with a 60-minute race with one mandatory pit stop today. We'll see what kind of strats are going to be involved, but yeah. So, rain, qualifying, AP blue, the colour blue. Good combination here. I was quietly rubbing my hands together earlier because I was thinking, there could be just a little bit of rain on track, just based on what we were seeing earlier in free practice. And of course, none of the drivers wanted this, but here in the comms box, and I'm sure for all of you watching, this is going to be an absolute treat because Suzuka, as we all know, is slippery at the best of times. Then you add a bit of rain involved, and suddenly it's like an ice rink out there. A lot of fun, I think. Fun is the technical word, I think, tonight to be using. We are, of course, 11 minutes ago in our qualifying today. And yeah, we'll run you through some information, some stats and stuff very, very soon. They're all out on their out laps at the moment, so getting ready for their hot laps coming through, which are going to be quite interesting because the rain is only set to last for about another 5 or 6 minutes. And then we'll have a little drying off period, so some changing conditions. Going to be here on track for the remainder of qualifying. Those circuit times, the lap times, are going to be dropping rapidly at the end of qualifying. So we'll be keeping a very close eye on the grid. Who can handle the changing conditions the best? We will see. The championship at the moment in AP Blue, down to the wire currently between Joshua Vediger, Ethan Cale and Jamie Comboy for the pro class. This will wait. The Keller and Bendik for the silver class. Lewis, Ashley Vediger, and Neil Wood for the Pro-Am. And in the Am class, it's Lorenz, Sebi, and Ring at the moment, all battling it out. So those are the standings as they are right now. And it is pretty close because P2 and P3, which are the pro drivers in Kale and Comboy, currently sharing race points of 590 race points each. So they are deadlocked for P2, currently essentially a shared P2. And yeah, the outing we had last week, very interesting time at Paul Ricard because Vetiger ran away with it, Comboy ran away with it, and Kale had a bit of an issue, bit of a mare, because he's down in P7 for the end of Paul Ricard race, and that's dropped him in the standings. There we go. There's some lap times coming in at 2 minute 10.215, immediately taken away by Joshua Vetiger. So it does a 2:09. So of course these lap times are going to be a little bit slow until the rain starts to tidy itself up, and our little leaderboard will surely get up to date at some point as well. Currently on board with Comboy for Kovacs Racing. Jamie's been having a good time out. P2 last time at Paul Ricard. Great result for him, and it really launched him up in the standings. Some of the interesting things going on there for him is McLaren. His favourite circuit was Paul Ricard, but his McLaren just didn't really handle the jandals, so to speak, around there. On board now with Vetiger. Joshua's gone very wide there. Oh dear. So a victim already. That's going to be a little bit of a yellow flag there around at the Dunlop curve. And now on board with Taylor, who's had a really impressive run the last couple of times. Taylor been looking strong as he goes through the Degner corners there, Degner 1 and 2. So for those of you who don't know the corners here, get up to speed, come on. But nonetheless, he's actually flying at the moment, going up a second on his time. So I think these conditions are already changing quite rapidly. Yeah. It's now cloudy out on track. The rain is not actually coming down any longer. 25 degrees track Celsius, so 25 degrees track temperature. So we should see the dry line evolve relatively quickly here. I think we're just going to see lap times faster and faster all the way out through qualifying, which is going to be great to see. It's always the most exciting qualifyings. At a place like Suzuka, where the grip's limited anyway, with drying conditions. Oh, if Sean Muller was here right now, he'd be having an absolute jam. We hope to see him in the comms box soon. But as Taylor continues to improve on his lap time, up second up now, Very, very impressive. Kale does go fastest, though, a 2-minute 08.162. Very impressive from Kale. We know how strong he is in that Lamborghini, but Taylor, here he comes because he's already up 1.2 of a second, finding time on nearly every corner. A little bit of time lost into the final chicane, but finds it through the corner. Yeah, manages to hold it nicely on exit, but not the best run down the back straight, onto the main straight, I should say. This should be quite an impressive time, though. Let's see what he does across the line. Actually goes P2. So Taylor done a very, very good job there. Put his Ferrari right up there into P2, and only 0.2 of a second behind Kale's time. Bendik here with, yes, the questionable livery in terms of the tyre colour, but nonetheless going very fast, a second and a bit up on his time at the moment. This could be good enough as just saw Appreciato go across the line there for P8. Third place for the silver driver in Bendik. That's a very, very impressive lap time. But as I said before, these lap times are going to continue to come down. The dry line is evolving. There will be a point probably in the next, I'd say, 3 to 4, maybe 5 minutes where slicks could be an option. It's going to be a risky call, though. I have to admit, on board with Clark. Now up by 1.2 of a second. A little bit slidey on the exit of Spoon there. So not necessarily the most ideal situation. You really want to be getting the torque down, but it's one of the hardest places to do that at Spoon. Tricky, tricky corner. Sort of almost a double apex sort of corner. So he's lost a bit of time down the straight, but still up on his time. 6.5 minutes to go in this qualifying at the moment. Changeable conditions. You've got to absolutely love it. And he's finding time everywhere as well. So the 717 car here doing very, very well. He's moving through very quickly. And yeah, 1.3 seconds up on his time. Can he hold that time? Yes, he can. And across the line, he will come. This is going to be a great time from Clark. Puts himself up into P7, just behind McKellar. About 1/10 of a second. So very impressive work there. But yeah, time to go get a new set of tires on, I suspect. Maybe refuel and get back out there. As you can see around the grid, we've just shuffled around a few drivers here. Bendik, 0.5 of a second up already on his time once again. So he's just gone up a whole bunch on the previous lap. Now he's up again, finding time everywhere. So that was nearly an invalidation. There was about a centimeter in that one for the Lamborghini driver, but manages to hold it. Very, very good stuff. And actually, surprisingly, manages to continue finding time despite nearly getting the lap invalidated. So very impressive there. Through 130R he goes. Just look at the dry. I mean, this is what happens in the changeable conditions with the dry line evolving. Times are just coming down every single lap. They're finding time. So you really want to time this to perfection. You want to be doing your last lap, or starting your last lap with 1 second left on the clock to maximize the conditions here. It's going to be absolutely crucial. McKellar goes to P1 with a 2-minute 08, and then immediately it's taken away from him by Bendik of the 207.7. So there you go. It is absolutely all happening here at the moment. These circuit conditions changing moment by moment. That's Ashley Vediger out in front, and Bendik coming in for another lap and already finding time. I told you this was going to happen. This is absolutely brilliant stuff. And Bendik at the moment absolutely flying around circuit, really handling the changing conditions extremely well out on circuit. 4.5 minutes to go in this qualifying. It will all come down to these last few laps. Kale, who was previously on pole, we expect him to be fast. He is now 0.8 of a second up. Got a little bit of traffic to navigate, which gets out of this way very nicely. Excellent etiquette there. Absolutely flying right now. A second up. This will put him 0.5 of a second clear if he can maintain it. I lost a little bit of time there at the chicane, so went a little bit deep and a little bit wide. Had to really turn the car in, and the power just did not want to apply. Once you're off that dry line, that is absolutely it. You're not going to get any of the power down, despite having wet tires. He's still finding the right time, though. He needs 1 second up. He's just found a 10th onto the entry of Spoon. Another couple of hundredths there on the exit. Can he nail the exit? Let's see. Yes, he can. Still putting the power down. He's finding time. Kale looking very strong here to retake that P1 position. So let's keep an eye on what Kale can do through 130R. Is he flat? No, he's lifted off quite significantly. And, oh, no, he's run wide. Oh, that's so unfortunate for him because he's lost what was a mega lap. That might have been easily into the 206s there. So eyes now once again on the fastest lap for Taylor, 207.6. So he's dethroned Bendik. The Bendik is up by 0.7, 0.8. of a second. These times are dropping every single time we jump on board a driver. They're going faster. So it's all going to be about who can nail the last couple of laps in this. And I do believe I have the fine privilege of introducing to you all the legend that is Sean Muller. Sean, changeable conditions, AP Blue, rain, qualifying. How are you doing tonight, mate? Oh, we don't quite have Sean just yet, so we'll wait until he's able to get in. Maybe a push to talk little issue there, but there we go. Bendik retakes P1 with a 207.095. That is a stonking lap time. Changeable conditions working well with Bendik's style, and unfortunately for Kale and the others at the moment, our usual contenders in Vettiger, Comboy, and Kale really nowhere to be seen. They're not even in the top 3 at this moment, which is crazy to think about. But that just goes to show it's not all about, necessarily your ultimate pace here. Sometimes you just got to be a bit patient. And we're on board with Kale once again, but he's invalidated his lap. I think that was on the exit of Degner 2 there. That was going to be another mega lap, so just needs to put it together, really, which is what, so far, what Bendik, Taylor, and McKellar have been able to do. And look at that, Bendik is finding more time there out on the circuit.
Well, can we hear me now? I am here.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey.
So, good evening, everyone. Hope you all are having a fantastic Thursday evening. What a great way to kick off a Thursday evening with this fantastic race here at one of the greatest racetracks in the world. And we are looking at Bendik on screen at the moment in the Abomination. But currently on top of the time sheet, which is great to see. The Lambo is very strong here, as we saw last night. As looking at Joshua Vettiger, who is currently in 12th position, but nearly 2 seconds up on his time as well. So he's going to set an absolute storming lap here. This is going to be a ripper. We see the conditions. Is that getting dry, or is it just me?
Oh boy, it's getting dry. Yes, it is. So the track's gone from raining wet to not raining wet to now cloudy, sunny, and damp. And the track temperature is continuing to rise, Sean. So it's
nice.
The conditions are really changing. Yeah, quite quickly too.
And a quick little shout out. Hi, Jan. Hope you are well. As we are looking here at Joshua Vettiger, and he's going to fly up this timesheet. This might actually go to the top. This is going to go to the top.
This is absolutely top. Yeah,
yep,
there we go. Oh, it's beautiful. 206. Beautiful. Great stuff. And that's our first 206 in the session. I was just saying before, Sean, this kind of changeable conditions, you want to be starting your last lap with 1 second on the clock. So I think it's going to be all down to who does that.
Yeah, exactly. Timing is everything in these changeable conditions in a qualifying session. As we're looking at Jamie Comboy, who is currently 0.8 up on his time here. So this is going to move him right to the top. This will be close to the top of the timesheets, actually. So this is going to be very close. He comes through 200R now. Hard on the acceleration up to one of the most trickiest corners in the world, the fearsome, dreadful, terrible, horrible spoon corner. Now you can run it a little wide on that green sort of apron there, but in these conditions I probably wouldn't advise that.
No, not a good idea this time out with all the rain that's just come through, but this will be JC's last lap. He's got to nail this one, but he's a second up on his time, so this is looking very good. This could be a pole lap. Be interesting to see what's happening with Kale as well, but I want to stay on board with Comboy at the moment because this will be his last lap in qualifying. He's lost a bit of time through 130R. Not ideal. Can he maybe find that back on braking into the final chicane? Not on into the corner. Through the corner, he finds a little bit of time and finds time on the exit. McLaren looking very squiggly, but he holds it. That's Comboy's skill and talent coming into play there, and this will be good enough for pole position, I believe.
Looks like it's going to go straight to the top, and it does with a 206.635. JC goes bang, but here comes Ethan Kale, who's on a storming lap here. He's 1.8 seconds up. This is going to go straight to the top of the timesheet. So Lamborghini is an absolute weapon around Suzuka. Is this going to be the full clutch lap? It is. Look at that, Ethan Kale, 206.220. Thank you very much. But here comes Bendik, who's slightly up on his best time. It might not be enough for pole, but it could. It's going to keep him in 4th position, but that is a great starting position there for Bendik, our top silver driver as well. What a great time to jump into qualifying.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Yeah, you really timed it perfectly, actually. There's McKellar across the line, 0.7 a second up. That's going to jump him up the field. Yeah, P5 for McKellar. That's a good little lap to finish out qualifying. I'm not sure we've only got 1 or 2 cars left on the grid now. It is Boxall, one of our AM class drivers. He's finding a bit of time too. It could be good enough to put him up the grid just a little bit. Not into the top 10 though at this stage. And yeah, Sean, the only problem with having Bendy up there is we have to look at that abomination more than once in a race. That's a bit unfortunate.
Yeah, it is a shame. But look, it's all about the little things.
Yes.
Yeah. Actually,
and you've got to appreciate the time. Wow, hold on. Boxall
a
whole bunch of time.
And he's just dropped a bucket load of time in the triangle, which is really easy to do. If he takes a little bit too much of that curb, can unsettle the rear, especially in the mid-rear cars. Boxall does go up to 11th, though, so that's a really good qualifying top AM. Well done.
Yeah, and honestly, that nearly totally destroyed my prediction there, which we always love as commentators. We love making predictions. We think we're right, then the guys and girls on track prove us wrong immediately. So that is qualifying. We'll have a little look at the grid and such. We've got 60 minutes ahead of us. I do just want to quickly mention that we've had a little bit of a word from Mull around his recovery, and he is doing a lot better, which is really, really good news. So we all wish him the best and speedy recovery. And also a big thanks to Glenn, the admin team, all the stewards and all that for picking up the slack and jumping into the big boots that Mull has left. And everyone's been doing a brilliant job in his absence. So well done to everyone.
Couldn't agree with that more, and Mull will be happy at the moment. His pies are up by 8 points in the first final, so he'll be getting around that for sure. But yeah, definitely a big shout out to Mull. Hope he is doing well. Speedy recovery, buddy. And yeah, agree with the sentiments and the stewards and all the volunteers that do put in some great work here at OOR. And of course, a big shout out to our fantastic sponsors at simrigs.com for your sim racing needs. And if you are a Patreon of OOR, you get a 5% off discount, which is always nice. Who doesn't love a cheeky discount?
Oh, I love a cheeky discount. Give me a coupon any day, but 5% off, that is a good deal. And we are here on the grid. So here's how it lines up, folks. P1 goes to Kale in the QES Lamborghini. Then P2 will go to Jamie Comboy in the Kovacs Racing McLaren. The Coca-Cola No Sugar Porsche of Joshua Vediger. And we'll take P3. And then Ben Deek with a great qualifier. I think that's his best of his season in the Candy Lamborghini. And then we've got McKellar in his Porsche, the 111 car. Monster Energy of Begg there. That's the McLaren. And we've got Preciado in the Porsche on the left-hand side. I know these are your favorite liveries, Sean, so I'm not going to let you have a chat about them. Ferrari on the right there of Taylor, and then Thistlethwaite in my favorite blue Mercedes.
And then moving through. So while we have got a little bit of time, we've got 58 seconds till the race gets underway. I'll just go quickly run through the championship there as well, because with this qualifying, it's really interesting. So Joshua Vediger is leading the way from Ethan Kale and Jamie Comboy. They're your top three, and there's actually 23 points of difference between the three of them. So it is on for this championship. Now, also the Silver Class Championship is something that's interesting as well, because Thistlethwaite is currently leading the way, but as you can see, he's down there in 9th position at the moment, and all these sort of competitors are up above him. So might be a bit of a damage limitation around there for Thistlethwaite, but we have seen some of his most epic. He has been put in some amazing drives, so I'm not ruling out a big result there for Thistlethwaite.
Yeah, too right. And I was noting earlier in the live broadcast that the race points currently for Kale and Comboy now equal on 590, but you're absolutely right. There's a little bit more separating them in terms of net points, and as you see, Joshua Vediger, 632, Kale 623 overall, and then 609 for Comboy. It's really spicy at the top of the grid. I really like that, because this is going to really shake things up. Kale, of course, this is exactly what he needs to try and retake P1 in the championship, and Comboy there, well, he's got a bit of work to do. So if he can find a good result here, stay ahead of Vediger today, and maybe get a move on Kale, although I don't know quite how the dynamics between McLaren and Lamborghini go here. I suspect they are actually two of the sort of better cars here at Suzuka, but I wouldn't count out the Porsche. But Porsche versus Lamborghini versus McLaren, that's a battle for the ages here at Suzuka.
Well, we all know that the Lamborghini is definitely strong around here. It really feels really nice. It's I know my race last night, I've never driven a car that felt so good through the S's. I was having a ball. The McLaren, I've heard that it's quick around here, but it can be temperamental.
Yes.
The Porsche, the old Porsche was nice around here. I haven't driven the new one around here, so I'm not 100% au fait with that. But I'm going to make a bold prediction here. I think Ben Deek's on for I think he's on for a podium here tonight.
Oh, well, I mean, so that's an interesting prediction, actually, because there is every chance. If you're going to make a small mistake that kills your race, this is kind of the circuit that it's going to happen at, unfortunately. And we saw last time out poor card. Small mistake for Kale led to him drop down all the way to the sort of middle of the grid and then fight back to 7th position overall. So one small mistake here can really, really upset your race championship hopes here. And Bendik is kind of in the perfect position to take advantage of that. Yeah, ahead of McKellar, ahead of Beg, ahead of Appreciado, and Thistleway, as you said, who's leaving this.
Oh, we seem to have lost Cookie there. Not too sure what's happened, but I'm here, so it's all good. Yep, there we go. He's
there
back.
we go.
He's just stepped out.
It's just the finger slipped off the button, Sean. It's yeah, error between keyboard and chair. That's the problem that's happened there. What was I saying? Yes, well, I was saying about 50 points between Bendik and Thistleweight. So if Thistleweight wants to hold on to the silver lead, he's going to have to do a bit of work today, and Bendik is going to have a great one because that could really put him up from P3, maybe up a little bit further in the silver standings.
Of course, famous racetrack, lots of history around here. If everyone knows me by enough by now, I love history in racetracks. 130R, we've seen some amazing moves in a lot of motorsport through there. Oh, that's an interesting line there from a McLaren, but it looks like it was a Lambo. I think that was a Lambo.
So one or the other, wow. It's one thing you don't actually have to do on the formation map because you are ghosted at this stage. So if you do find yourself rapidly coming up on someone, you just hit the brakes, go in a straight line, not dive into a wall. Oh well, it is what it is, but you're right. Huge history at this place, massive history, corner names, famous corner names, Formula 1 history here as well. Oh man, can't wait. We'll get into that, I'm sure, in the next 60 minutes, Sean, but over to you for the start of the race.
Here we go. So it is round 6 of Split Blue, Simrigs.com OOR Sprint Series, live from Suzuka on a beautiful Thursday night. Ethan Kale is going to take control of the field from Convoy, Vedegar, Bendik, McKellar, Beg, Appreciado, Taylor and Thistleweight and Clark. All the big players are there and they're going to fire off now. It is a very long hold down this straight as well. It feels like you're waiting for the green light forever. Anticipation rising, and we are green and we are racing and underway as they head down now towards turn 1. Who's going to have the inside position? Carl's got a very nice start. He's going to just hold that beautiful line inside. Gets a beautiful start. Our top 3 have flown away here. Bendik now currently in 4th, got a beautiful start. Looks like everyone gets through turn 1 cleanly, which is great to see. So now it's just about getting into a rhythm, getting yourself in the right position through the S's. Just looking at the back there, it looks like McKellar's really trying to work on the back of Bendik, trying to get that early move done, but there's no room there whatsoever. We fire back now here to Boxall, currently in 11th position, our top AM driver. Really pointing to get a nice flow through these S's and up through Dunlop, past the famous Ferris wheel. Don't run it too wide because that will split you off on the fence before you can say, where did that come from? Now heading into the Dengers. Denger 1 and Denger 2. Fantastic set of corners, this one. Really important on the opening lap, not to take too much inside curves. We're back up now with our leaders. They head down towards this stupid, dumb hairpin. Really,
yes.
really important to get a nice exit. The Lambo's an absolute rocket out of that hairpin, but Convoy's hanging on here to Kale. I know he's pretty fired up for this round. He's put in quite a bit of time. Now up towards Spoon. Again, a corner that you never feel you get right. So just clip a little bit of curb, run it a little bit wide, and then tuck the nose back in. The Lambo likes going out really wide as well. Handles the bumps, no problem. Now down the long chute, up the hill towards the fearsome 130R, as we're looking at Beg currently in 5th position at the moment. It's got McKellar right behind him, so our silver class drivers are in their own little battle already, which is great. So it goes through 130R, flick it in over 200 kilometres an hour, run it really wide but not too wide. Then you brake just before the 100 metre board into the triangle, clip it over the curbs, and that is lap 1 run and done, and that is a super clean lap as well. Well done, Split Blue.
Yeah, got to give it to them. That's probably the tidiest opening lap I've ever seen at Suzuka. Fastest lap course being taken there for Kale. Goes across the line, first fastest lap, and does maintain a pretty good time through there. We've had a little bit of a shift around the grid. Thistleweight has moved up a couple of positions. Bell was momentarily in P8. Appreciado's had some sort of something happen because he's dropping down the grid as well. But on board at the moment with Convoy, and Convoy's hanging onto the back of the Lamborghini at the moment, doing very well. Of course, it's all about getting the tyres activated at the start of this race. See if you can just, I mean, obviously during the the formation lap, you need to be trying to pump as much heat into them as possible, get them up to the right temperature. We are nice and warm on track though, 25 degrees Celsius on track, and yeah, you know, shouldn't be too hard to get them into the zone at the moment. As you said, through Degna 1, Degna 2, the first couple of laps, you don't want to take it too risky. You know, you don't want to risk it too much. In the background, we're seeing a great little fight evolving between Bendy and Beg and McKellar here, and I think that's Taylor hanging onto the back of this group too. So Bendy has been doing a great job at the start of this race in that Lamborghini. The Lamborghini just flies off the corners. It's got such great low-end speed. You know, and even the good exit there that Beg had in the McLaren, really getting the power down, it really is a challenge in the McLaren. As you said, we're saying before, it is quick here, but it is very temperamental. You put one little input wrong, and it will not treat you particularly nice. That was a bit close there. So finding a bit of time here is Beg, and he might be putting some pressure on Bendig in the later half of this. We're in the later half of this lap, but maybe in a few laps' time, we might be seeing a little bit of a move there between these two. Might go for it now. Let's see.
Oh, this is bold through 130R. This is a brave move there from Beg. Oh, he catches too much of the inside curb. Oh, he just holds on to that. That was nearly fence material right there. Always bold to go through there, too wide at 130R. I've only seen it happen once or twice ever in real life and in a sim. So, and if you catch too much of that inside curb, and then it spits you out wide, and it can fire straight at the fence. Speaking from past experience.
Yeah, it's you know, when you do what Beg's just done there, and he's now under pressure. Ooh. The car behind, does manage to hold on to that position. Loses that to McKellar, of course. When you do that there, your only option, if you go side by side into the start point of the apex, the corner entry, the only thing you can do is run across the curb, which is the result that we saw there. You get kind of launch. You end up with the space program, and the car does not like it. So good control to handle the car bouncing around after hitting the curb, but all the dust being kicked up as well. And McKellar, though, will now begin his chase after Bendik, and Thistlewaite now right on the back of Taylor.
We're seeing already Thistlewaite's already just starting to put in one of these drives. He sometimes doesn't qualify the best, but geez, he's a very good racer. I believe it was that Nürburgring race where he just drove through the field. It was fantastic to watch. Really smart operator, this guy. Into the hairpin now. This pack's actually really starting to back up here a little bit. So Bendik's actually got a bit of a train behind him. So maybe he's just struggling initially with this. Maybe his pressures aren't up yet. Maybe just not feeling comfortable at the moment. But he's got a train behind him, and he's going to be looking in that rearview mirror quite a lot of the time, I feel.
That might be why that was close from Thistlewaite, getting very close to the rear end of that Ferrari, but doing well not to go into the back of them. Everyone's got a different style of how to attack Spoon, don't they? You know, some like to go in fast and hold it really wide, some like to be more conservative and then really sweep it into the last part and try and sort of hold the speed through that last apex, and some people like to straighten it out and absolutely go for it. But through 130R we go again. That's a bit of a tactical track limits there for Taylor, I do believe. Goes defensive. And I'm just, bit of contact there.
Oh, big, huge contact.
Yeah, oh dear. Okay, so let's figure that one out. Thistlewaite ended up in the back of Taylor, but Taylor, I think there, was slowed down by the cars in front. So Thistlewaite got a little bit caught out there. That'll be a little bit of damage for both cars, I think.
Yeah, that's definitely going to add a few seconds to your pit stop. It depends on the car, though. I've found also that certain cars can handle damage just a bit better than other cars. Put it that way, if that was a Lamborghini, are you pitting now?
Yeah, if it was a McLaren, you'd be pitting now as well. It's horrible to deal with the cut damage anywhere on the car.
Where the big Merc just seems it's a big brute of a thing. You just keep on trucking along, it'll be fine. As we are on board with Thistlewaite at the moment. Now down towards Dunlop. Another corner that looks deceptively easy, but it is very difficult. As you can see there, opposite lock, left, right, controlling the slide. Lovely bit of car control there from Thistlewaite.
Yeah, so just looking at the lap times at the moment, so Bendik is currently running in the 201.8 and the low 202s, whereas the top three are all running sub 2:05 at the moment, with Ethan, his last lap there, fastest lap of the race, 1:59.812. So Kale and Comboy both running in the 59s, right back into qualifying pace. And yeah, Vedega's just falling off the back of the pack just a little bit. Kale at the moment got a decent gap, but he's not escaped from the slipstream that Comboy's got. So Comboy doing very well to wrangle that McLaren around Suzuka at the minute. And yeah, the battle continues here. Oh, I think Not a lot of time separating all these guys here, guys and girls.
Bit of weirdness there from Bendiki. I thought he did. He ran quite wide there out of Spoon, and that's going to give McKellar here a big shout into 130R. He'll get this done easily. Oh. I don't think Bendick's going to fight this too much. Oh,
Kale's gone. Kale's gone.
Kale's gone. What's happened there? Oh no, Kale's there.
Oh no, he's there.
There he is.
Hold on. I have something weird going on with my timing sheets. Are we absolutely sure about that? Because he's in the pits.
He's in the pits. No, he's had a moment. He's had a moment. He's come in. He's had a huge moment, so I'm sure our awesome race director will get a hold of that. But yeah, no, you're right. He's had a massive moment, and that is an early stop. So he's going to have to run 51 minutes and also take on some repairs as well for damage. So this has thrown this race wide open. Convoy now is in the box seat here because I feel Vedica just doesn't have the pace to keep with Convoy. So, wowee.
Yeah, that's got massive implications, not only for Kale, but also the championship at the minute. And you're right, Convoy's just flying at the moment. Just doesn't really... Vedica might be doing a bit of saving. I mean, there's three strats you can go with here. You can go with run long, run short, as in two stints there. You can half it. You can run short and then run long at the end. And we have found that the overcut here is very, very strong. Something that I did last night, and it really worked out for me. And I didn't really have great pace. Oh dear, Bendick's got a bad run there, and blocks a little bit for Bell, who, by the way, is a silver class driver. Bell getting slightly blocked into that corner. Bendick going immediately defensive. Bell had nowhere to go, just had to back off the throttle. And this fight is not over yet, but look at McKellar. So as you were saying before, Bendick just doesn't seem to quite have the pace. Hasn't found the tyre window. He wants to be operating in with that Lamborghini, and now is under all sorts of pressure. He's the bottleneck. He's the plug in the bath at the moment for the rest of the grid. And McKellar, as you can see, is just launching out. We're leading. Oh, he's going squiggly again. Here we go.
What do you reckon? Inside curb? Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, he holds it. Does he hold? Oh no! Oh no! Oh. Bang! Oh, that's a big hit. Oh, that's at least 20 seconds worth of damage. At least. Wow.
Oh dear. And to be honest, I mean, he nearly held it, but and then he sort of flew in front of Convoy. Convoy would have had a bit of a heart skip at that moment, I suspect. And then Kel, rightly so, decides to go to the pits. That's a disaster for Kel. I'm gutted for him.
Massive disaster. That's huge. That's going to make his race very difficult for a couple of reasons. One, a long pit stop. Oh, but back to that, because we've got a three-way fight here. They're going to nearly go three wide into turn one. This is bold and brave. Bendick, oh, that is really tight there between Begg and Taylor. Taylor, though, he's just going to fight, hold it on the inside, gets a little squirrely on the exit, and they just fall back in the line and get ready for round three.
That's right. It's hard to overtake here, and when you do get an overtake, generally it's in those high-speed zones. Seb E there, number 16 car, being given a 10-second penalty for causing a collision on lap 2. So lap 2, not proving to be the cleanest lap, unfortunately, at this stage. But lap 1 was beautiful. But good move there from Taylor. It was a really good move down the inside of turn 1 and managed to hold it. I mean, it's a tricky one to overtake there, Sean. It really is. Like, that's a moment.
Whoa! That was Begg had a huge brown pants moment. That's so easy to do with the Dengers. I actually did notice that. I've watched a few McLarens on board, and it's very easy to do in the McLaren. For some reason, it just does not like the Denga curves at all. And look at that. Taylor's just gone straight up the inside of the hairpin at Bendick here as well. So Taylor is on the move. What a fantastic move this is by Taylor. He has had enough. He's like, right, I can maybe sniff a chance at a really good result here, so I'm going for it. And that is it. So he's up 2 positions within half a lap. Let's see if he can fly onto the back of Bell and McKellar.
Yeah, and Clark had a go at Begg as well. So Clark's looking very, very quick as well, rocking up there in his own McLaren. And on the onboard now through 130R, this is great stuff. You'd love to see it. And apart from those wheels in front. But nonetheless, is that flat through there? Not quite. I think there was a little bit of a lift. Bendy looking a little slightly. Round the outside tries Begg. Can he make it happen? Yes, he's got the inside. Part of the chicane. That's a beautiful move.
Oh, yes. What a fantastic move there from Begg. Clip that, everyone. That is your move of the race. I don't reckon we'll see a better move than that. What a fantastic opportunistic move around the outside of the Casio triangle. Get around it. That is awesome.
Oh, you've got to be so brave. You've got to be so late on the brakes. And whoa, that's close as well for Clark on Bendy. Yeah, something is happening with Bendy. He's just not got the pace that he showed in qualifying. Not able to really get the tyres and the car up into the window he needs to, under all sorts of pressure. But that move from Begg, it takes so much confidence, and it does take a lot of respect from the other drivers on track as well. So hats off to Bendy, who he got past there. But that was just mega. That is spectacular stuff.
Split Blue once again is providing some amazing racing. That was a stunning move. Really looking forward to seeing that on replay, and plenty of photos. Get some photos in for that one, guys. Oh, again, see on board here with Charles Clark, and you can see the McLaren through the Denga one there just does not like it at all. Get a little bit too squirrely on the exit and just wants to fire off. Now into the hairpin. How brave does he want to be? Does he just try and cut the A-pin? Oh, yeah, I thought he was going to try sort of a bit of an overcut there, but didn't quite work, and actually lost a lot of time and traction out of the corner as well. As you were saying before, that Lamborghini is a rocket ship out of the hairpin.
Yeah, you're right. And I think there's something around how you need to set up the McLaren here that the Degnas don't work for. I mean, I tried a few setups myself, tried to figure out something that really sort of fitted. But, you know, I couldn't find something that really worked at every single corner here. And Degna 1 and 2 were usually the ones you had to sacrifice. I mean, you're usually just sort of sweeping in. It's not the most critical place to hold a lot of speed through. You don't want to open yourself up in Degna 2, of course, to an overtake, which is entirely possible. But it's not one that you necessarily have to focus on. But if you run the curb at all on the McLaren, something about the bump rates, the suspension height, and it's Clark getting a little bit wide there. Tactical invoice for the speed token being used at that point. And Carter in behind, Pro-Am, 559 car, hot on the heels. Here we go, another replay.
Here's this fantastic move by Begg, so he gets a great run out of 130R, sees a small little opening there at the triangle and just goes, yep, I'm going to go around the outside, hold it there, and great racing there as well from Bendig to give enough racing room as well. Fantastic move. That, ladies and gentlemen, is your move of the race.
Yeah.
It's going to take something pretty special to beat it.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. MOTD, 100%. I mean, I don't usually do these sort of things, but that's chef's kiss. That is chef's kiss kind of overtake. It's the kind of overtake that you dream of. And I have to admit, you're absolutely spot on, Bendig, with the incredible racecraft and awareness there to give the space to Begg, to not cause a collision, which is, again, it's easy to do. That's usually where you see them in this track.
So recapping our sort of leaderboard at the moment. So it is Convoy leading the way, 3.7 seconds to the good from Vediga, McKellar, Bell, Taylor, Begg, Bendig, Clark, Carter and Box. Great drive there from Boxer as well, up to 10th position. So got two AMs in our top 10 at the moment, even though Bell, we all pretty much know, definitely not an AM.
Yeah, there's an entry list error with
Bell, so copy that.
Bell is in fact being registered as silver on the standings, so yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. Definitely.
It does. It does. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Otherwise, that's an instant silver badge. Otherwise. Quick little bit of information from around the grid, just to bring you guys a bit as we stay on board with Taylor at the moment. But just to give you a little bit of information, so Kale ended up with a 60-second pit stop, as in stopped for 60 seconds to repair the damage. Sitherwaite actually did come in a couple of laps ago, so spotted by some eagle-eyed viewers in the chat. So Sitherwaite actually came in quite early, about 4 or 5 minutes ago, did a regular pit stop and has gone back out, is currently ahead of Kale on track and setting some reasonably okay lap times at the moment. So Thistleweight looking to do some sort of undercut on the entire field, but I don't think Thistleweight had enough damage to really justify the pit, so I'm not quite sure why Thistleweight's come in so early, but maybe trying to employ some mega undercut strategy here and pull out something out of the bag. There's a little fight going on still between Bell and I think that is Taylor. This will continue to evolve as we stay on board with these two for the remainder of the lap. But yes, I see some yellow flags around the pitch as well. The circuit. But yes, like I said, 60 seconds in the pit for Kale, Sean. That was a big one.
That's brutal. Definitely brutal. I think Thistleweight might have felt that he was stuck behind some few cars. Thought, you know what? I'm going to get out of traffic here and just try and get some clean air and just see if I can, as you were saying, go for the massive undercut. We've seen it before from Thistleweight. He does pull some really strange strategies, but they tend to work out. So I'm definitely not going to say he's done the wrong thing there 100%. But we're only seeing the top 23 at the moment, so I'm not too sure whereabouts is Kale running on the track.
So Kale's currently running 25th at the moment and 23rd for Thistleweight.
There he is.
There we go. He's still got the fastest lap, so don't get
Not
us wrong.
really.
He's still flying on track. Oh, that's a car that's gone around. It's Warren. It's Hayden Warren.
Hayden, yep, it's just gone around there in the barrage. Oh, he's gone around again. Oh,
Ooh.
that's a bit weird.
So something not quite right with that car, that Ferrari, whether it's the excessive damage now being held. But as you see there, it didn't have any traction. The rear has given up. In fact, I have to admit, it doesn't look particularly flat, that front splitter either. So out of the pits then comes Salvagio as well. Thistlewaite on board with now the 36 car. So yeah, the unusual strategies, it's interesting, isn't it? I mean, I personally go for the 50-50 strategies because I'm very uncreative, Sean. But they do seem to work. But I usually will time the pit to make sure I get clean air. That's the key thing that I'm looking for. I'm like, right, whatever happens, if I'm in a pack immediately at the start, this is why I should have really thought about that. And glad you mentioned that in terms of what Thistlewaite might have been thinking. If you've got the ability to get in clean air and you know you're faster than the cars ahead that don't have an opportunity to overtake, and here at Suzuka you really don't, it's quite a good idea. You can just get out there, put the lap times in that you know you need and can do, and it can quite easily jump you right ahead of your competitors who are there still fighting for each other for position. Well,
that's correct. And it's a relatively short pit transit at Suzuka here as well, so it's on a nice straight. It's not the pit exit is a little dicey, but compared to some other tracks, it's quite a relatively short pit lane. So that strategy through sort of undercuts and overcuts definitely in play here. Looking at Sebi currently in 9th position, he's carrying a 10-second invoice in the Nismo Porsche. See what I did there? I thought it was pretty clever.
That's good. I appreciate
it. He's actually got a bit of work to do because he's got wood all over him at the moment, cheap suit style from Tesco's. There's Bennett Ring there gets a 10-second penalty for causing a collision on lap 6.
That's unfortunate for Ring. He's 3rd in the AM Championship. That's not going to hurt.
Oh, hang on. Is that a Preciado with a stop go 30? It is.
Oh my goodness.
Ouch.
Okay. We may need to find out exactly what that's for, because that is a massive slap on the wrist. Now could that be drive through for track limits not serving?
Could be that, but I didn't see a 10-second. Yeah, pit speeding. There we go. Thank you from the hamster.
Yeah,
grass, Sebi, grass.
Yeah. You've got to be on the right side, on the tarmac for the start of 130R is a really good idea.
Look, I have heard that staying on the asphalt is the best option to go fast around here.
Yeah, it's not just drive faster, it's just drive on the tarmac. That's rule 1 in the handbook, so to speak. Yeah, but Sebi's doing a good job here to hold off the likes of Wood behind at the moment, and out front there we've got Carter under a lot of pressure from Boxall as well. So we've got a few who've come into the pits now, the likes of Clark, see Thistlewaite, Preciado as well, all coming in for pit stops. So the order is going to get a little bit mixed up, but 39 minutes left in this race, and Salvagio there, yet I believe that's another 15-second penalty. Maybe that's the first one that we didn't quite get the banner up for initially, but yeah, some penalties being handed out, some slaps on the wrists going to some of the drivers here. So I don't know if we've cursed the entire race, Sean, but it was a beautiful first lap. We were complimenting them on that, but it's kind of devolved ever so slightly since then, isn't it?
Yeah, it sounds like a standard Saturday night for me. Yeah. Starts off great, beautiful and perfect. Yeah, by about 3 in the morning, gets a bit crazy, a bit loose.
Yeah.
But anyway, enough about me. Oh, yeah. Sebi there. We're talking crap basically. Sebi, got a huge run there at a ding. He's going to try and go around the outside around the hairpin, and he gets it done. Beautifully done. Nice work there from Sebi. He's looking really racy and aggressive at the moment in the Porsche. And Boxer now drops down to 8th position.
Yeah, that was. I'm surprised that Wood didn't give that a bit more of a crack to get around, because it was side by side, but just decided didn't want any of that, and is probably planning to try and overtake some people in the pits. And that is Lewis going very, very wide at Spoon. His spoon was maybe a bit too big in this case.
It was a super spoon.
A super spoon. I like that. I do like that.
So we've got 37 minutes to go in this race. The race has sort of settled down a little bit after those frantic opening couple of laps. Just checking with our lead. Oh, that's not the line you want to take through 130R, that is for sure. It has some does weird things, 130R. Is it like a couple of bumps right on the exit? Sometimes you hit them, fine, no problem. Literally 2 laps later, you hit the same bump and it'll launch you in the stratosphere. It's a weird corner.
Yeah, it is a bit of a weird one, isn't it? I mean, it's super fun. I personally, I find it terrifying every time I go into there, but every time I get that turn in, as long as I get that turn in, I sort of start thinking like, okay, I know I'm pretty safe here. I'm pretty safe. I'm not going to go flying. That's the important thing. But I don't know what it was like with you in the Porsche last night, but I was having to do a heck of a lot of lifting at 130R nearly every single time I went through there. When you add the fuel load and with unfortunately with the setup that I got as well, that ended up with, I just couldn't really go flat round there. How was it in the Porsche? Were you flat in the race at all?
In the Lambo? No.
Oh, the Lambo. Sorry, yes.
Yeah. It's all right.
My bad. Yeah.
I know it's hard a habit to break. Not flat. Definitely not flat in race trim. It's a slight lift. It's a slight lift as you're turning in, and then literally as soon as you hit the apex, you are hard on the gas. And then you can run it pretty wide in the Lambo. The one thing the Lambo, as Charles Clark picks up a 10-second penalty for a collision on lap 8. The one thing in the Lambo, if you hit too much of that inside curb, it doesn't like it at all, as I found out last night. There is a clip in the Discord. Go see that clip with Daniel Suzuka. Pulled off an amazing move on me as well, so happy to take credit for that, as we are looking at this as well. Chris Tone's going to try and go to the outside. Oh, bold! Oh, wow, that was Raikkonen and Alonso like. That was, he's going to try and hold on to this actually into the triangle. So this isn't over with yet. Bell's really starting to feel the pressure now. Taylor, this has been a storming drive from Taylor so far. Made up a bucket load of positions with some really bold, aggressive driving, but not overly aggressive as well. Just putting his car in the right spots. They head down the main straight now. Building up speed, probably looking around 220, 250, 260. Then it's hard on the anchors into turn 1, flick it in, run it a little bit wide. Great move there from Taylor, and that moves him up now to 3rd position, and he is on a mega charge here.
Yeah, lovely stuff. He really sort of got Bell to compromise her line through the last parts of that Sector 3, and that gave him the big run out on the main straight, which is what he needed because the Ferrari was not looking maybe the fastest on the grid. I'm not actually 100% sure how it marks up to the Porsche, but had just enough overspeed to get there on the inside for turn 1 and make the move happen. So great stuff from Taylor, and yeah, he will start to fly away at this point. A quick note from chat, just noticed this as well. Preciado, who had the stop go 30 for speeding, that's been replaced with a 10-second penalty, so that's been downgraded just a tad, because stop go 30 is pretty much the biggest slap on the wrist you can get in this game other than a disqualification. So, yeah, glad to see that downgraded. And by the way, Kale is now up to P19, starting to run through the field. Thistle way up to P17, but McKellar's ahead of them as well. P16, all of them have pitted. So the top of the pit at the moment is P16. The rest of those ahead have yet to pull into the pit lane and serve their mandatory stop, which should be coming up in the next 4 or so minutes for most of them. But we might see some people run fairly long into this. For example, scrap that I did yesterday. Just basically run for, I think it was 42 minutes or something like that. I actually led the race for about 30 seconds until Mia just drove past me. But nonetheless, pit stop's going to be happening pretty soon, I think, yeah.
Well, that's the time when you lead a race for like 30 seconds. You clip it and go, look at me, put it on the fridge.
Exactly, yes.
No one needs to know. Oh, that's an interesting line there from Bell. That was quite wide and into the triangle, so that's definitely compromised her exit. And yeah, Taylor's driving a storming race here at the moment. Do we get an update on what happened to Ben Deek there? Because he's dropped right down to 12th position. I just sort of was keeping an eye on him, and yeah, he's just dropped down the field. So he may have had a bit of a moment or a bit of an oopsie.
We'll have a little look into it, yeah, because that's very unusual. He's dropped all the way back. So I'll tell you what, I'll take a moment. I'll just try and find out, see if I can find that on a replay.
Why Cookie is doing that, we are looking at Paul Boxall here at the moment, currently in 10th position and driving beautifully in the top 10 is no mean feat at all in this class of field. We've got a bit of a Ferrari train forming up behind the Porsche there of Sebi. He'll be feeling the pinch, but again through the S's, that part of the S there I find is the trickiest. That initial first sort of turn, if you get that wrong, it just ruins your flow the whole way through here, all the way up to Dunlop.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. This track is about the flow, isn't it? It really is. Like if you can get it all hooked up, and that's what you need to do. But that's also the hard thing about it.
Yeah.
Just had a look at a couple of replays. I'm sure we'll find something from our amazing broadcasters who do a much better job of that than I do. But looks like Bendy got dropped a little bit down the field and then ended up in a bit of contact, which put him off the track. So I think that's why we've seen him down the field so much. But on board we go with Wood, who's still holding onto the back of Sebi. Sebi, of course, with that 10-second penalty. He will be dropping down the grid towards the end of this race nonetheless, or he'll be serving that when he comes into his pit. Might be sooner rather than later, I suspect.
So, of course, this is a race one of this evening. Do stick around for Split Blood coming up next. That's right. Is the split we all love. Split content, split blood, split death. So that is coming out. Of course, we do have the GT3, SimMagic GT3 Cup tomorrow night as well, which is getting into a really interesting stage as well. So be sure to tune into that. No sprint racing action next week because we're in enduro mode. So the enduro is coming up. The Permobil, is it? Where are we going next?
We're at Nürburgring. So
Nürburgring. There we go.
6 hours of Nürburgring. Yeah.
6 hours of Nürburgring. So looking forward to that. Unfortunately, I will not be racing again. But looking forward to tuning in and might show the little man how we roll an OOR as well and get him all excited about sim racing.
Good plan.
Looking forward to that as well, but we've still got 30 minutes to go in this absolute barnstorming race so far, as Vediga does pop into the pits now, so he's serving his mandatory. So this is actually going to be interesting how this plays out and see where Kale ends up. That's the one I'm really interested in, to see where Kale ends up in terms of his damage limitation. Yeah, he's actually got past Appreciato there now as well, so he can really start to hone in on the back of Thistleweight, but Thistleweight will not make it easy for him, I guarantee that.
No, that's right. We have just had Vediga come out of the pits. He's come out of the pits in P10. You see that Kale's down in P17, but he's got 4 cars between him at the moment, or 3 at the moment. He's gone past a couple up into P15 now, so prepare for the point in the commentary where we get rather confused and then rather knowledgeable and then rather confused again as the grid does start to shuffle around. I think there's 10 cars still to pit. Up the top of the grid, Sebi and Hare both in the pits now, M-Class drivers. And yeah, all eyes going to be on Kale at the moment. See where he comes out, see what the real damage has been from that massive incident earlier in the race. And McKellar up in the P13 now, or P12 now. There we go. See, this is the fun. This is what happens. Convoy in the pits. So our race leader's now in the pits. Now things are going to start to really shift around. We'll see what the real order is here after what was a brilliant first 30 minutes of racing at Suzuka.
So ACC, I love it. You're a great game in that, but I have one request. Bloody fix the timing tower, please.
Yeah, please. Yeah. Yeah, minor feature to update is what I would suspect. There must be something they can do about that, but yeah, we probably better avoid making this a bit of a gripe about Kunos. It is a wonderful game that we've been provided with here, and we all enjoy the absolutely enjoy the crap out of this game. It's a brilliant game.
So Taylor now currently leading the way. 2.8 seconds are good from Bell. Yet to serve the stop. So our top 7 have yet to serve their stops yet. Of course, Combo, our leader, is in. He'll serve his stop, get a fresh set of boots, fresh set of Pirellis, chuck some fuel in, and he'll pop out now. Where he pops out, nice clean air. Look at that. This is turning into a bit of a Sunday drive here for JC. This will do his championship the world of good as well. Based on what I'm seeing points-wise as well, if he keeps in this position, I dare say he'll go to the top of the board. And leading into, with only 3 rounds left after this one, we're off to Valencia for the next round, which will be very interesting. I know a few drivers like it, a few drivers not sure about it. A few drivers like myself have done sweet bugger all laps, so don't know much about it. But really keen to get stuck in and looking forward to that one. And then, of course, we finish off with the big 3, as I like to call them: Monza, Spa, Bathurst. It doesn't get any better than that.
No, when I saw that on the end of the 10 race season we've got, and by the way, 10 races in the season, brilliant, absolutely love it. Bathurst, Spa, Monza, that is a juicy way to end the season. I think it's, correct me if I'm wrong here, I think it's Bathurst is the next one, then it'll be Monza, then Spa?
That's correct, yep.
Yeah, so that's going to be really exciting. I mean, Bathurst is just brilliant. the racing around there is always absolutely amazing. Monza as well. I mean, the slipstream that we're going to be getting, the infill sections. Oh, love it. And then Spa, of course, the longest circuit we've got in the game, as far as I know. Which creates its own sort of hectic, sort of chaotic style of racing, and might even see some rain. I'll fingers crossed. I'll touch wood. That's not my split, but we'll see. Could be quite interesting. But yeah, this is gonna be great. I mean, as you said, we've got a break week next week. That's the Enduro week. It's going to be good fun, and then I think it'll be just 3 direct weeks to finish out the season, won't it?
Certainly will. And thank you to our mathematician Darbols in chat there. So basically saying if it stays where it is, JC in P1, Vediga there in P2, Vediga will have a 2-point lead in the championship. Oh yes!
Wow. Yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, if it's P1, P2 there, I mean that's assuming Kale still retains the fastest lap.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if one of them gets the fastest lap, there's another point there, but yeah, it's as close as I think it's been this season between all those 3.
No, it was me that did the math. I just stole it. Nice.
There you go. Yeah, good stuff. I mean...
So yeah, this is what a close championship looks like. As Thistleweight runs on the... that's weird. That was very weird.
Yeah, don't know why you're really out on that side of the circuit. Maybe fiddling with some settings or something like that, and just turn the steering wheel involuntarily, maybe.
Yeah, that was a bit. Yeah, that was just strange, just straight up strange. That was almost like grass skate and iRacing. Oh, I know, dirty word. Sorry. Yeah, but Thistleweight. So Kale's gotten past Thistleweight as well. So I tell you what, Kale, this is turning to some recovery drive. So up to, here we go. Thank you, amazing race director as always. So did Thistleweight have a moment? So up through Dunlop now. Oh no, I think I know what happened. No, holds it through Dunlop. Oh, still. That's smart from Thistleweight, incredibly smart. Probably knew he didn't have the pace there of Kale and just backed out of it. Let Kale go past and see if he can just tack onto the rear and make up as many positions as possible. Again, great, just heads up racing and racecraft there from Thistleweight.
Yeah, it shows a really high level of awareness, not only on your own, Thistleweight's own driving, but also just around who's around you, how fast they're going, where are they fast, where's a sensible place to lose as little time as possible, and very smart to be tucking into the slipstream there. Really clever stuff because, if you don't have the pace and you see the leader come through, this is what I tried to do to Mir before, but I managed to bin it before I got the chance to take a slipstream. So, but it's a very clever thing to do, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn here at all because I really did muck up. It's a mistake for me. But Thistleweight, very clever there. It does, that's the thing that we do emphasize in the Sprint Series, and the thing that I love to see the most is good racecraft. I appreciate seeing really fast drivers out there on track, the likes of which we see every week, with a very high level of driving here at OOR, and but I do love to see good racecraft. I think that's what really makes it for me, these races.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. As you know, I'm a big fan of the recovery drive, and I'm a massive fan of mixed conditions, and that's when you really see racecraft come to the fore.
You're having a blast today because we've had mixed conditions and a recovery drive.
Yeah, definitely. This is right in my wheelhouse. Yeah, it's Ben Deek now currently down there in 14th position. So had a bit of a tough race there, Mitchell Ben Deek. And I cursed as well. I said he might get a podium. I apologise for that. I'll put my hand up for that one. As looking at Neil Wood as well. So this is a nice little battle pack here between Wood, Boxell and Ben Deek. And just is that Lorenz there in the background? Might try to tack onto the back as well to try and make this a 4-way fight.
Yeah, Lewis didn't get a great exit there through the Dunlop curve either, so that's going to bring Boxell into it a little bit. But I mean, unless you plan it and want to do so, you don't do an overtake at Degner 1 or really 2 either. I tried that myself as well. Didn't really work out for myself. But we've got 3 Ferraris going for it. It's great.
Well, if you're a Ferrari fan, it's great. I mean, they got nothing else to cheer for, so may as well cheer for them in OOR. So we are 22 minutes to go, so we are getting to that point now where it's sort of, you kind of know where you're at, you know what you've got underneath you now. It's like, okay, am I in a fight or am I just going to circulate? These three right here are in a straight up barroom brawl. So this is going to go all the way to the final minute here. So looking forward to seeing how this plays out as we are heading up now towards 130R once again. So chat, if you are watching, what's your favourite thing about Suzuka, or your least favourite thing? You know, because I'm a big fan of this track. I love this track. My favourite thing, I won the history. I mean, we're coming up to one of the most famous points in Formula One history, where Ayrton decided to send it on Alain and then decided not to drive through the escape road and then got hit with it. We all know the story. Let's not go too far into it. Said it was in the right. That's all I got to say.
Well, it is a good story, though. I mean, for me personally, I'd say personally it's these first two turns and the S's. That's probably my favourite thing about it. Just being a driver here is my favourite thing about this circuit. It's the first 5 or 6 turns up through Dunlop. It's just beautiful. You're constantly turning. You're constantly trying to hold speed through the apex. It feels beautiful, And if you drive it beautifully, it sort of it creates an artistic feel. It creates something. There's a sense of it that I can't quite put words on, sure, but it is just a magical track to drive if you get it right. And yeah, that's probably my favorite thing. The thing that I like the least, 130R. Unfortunately.
Oh really? Wow.
It's a great corner. Like, don't get me wrong here. It's a great corner. It's brilliant, right? But it terrifies me every single time.
Yeah, that's fair. I get that as well. I mean, 130R, it's one of those corners. It reminds me a lot of, reminds me a bit of, is it McPhillamy? Not McPhillamy at Bathurst, the Great at Bathurst. So when you plunge down the hill under the tree and that, as Convoy actually gets the fastest lap there with a 59.6, beautiful lap there from JC. So that'll be a point in the pocket. He'll be happy about that, and that actually might be quite difficult to beat because KO on used rubber might struggle to beat that. And then he'll probably come out and pop out a low 59 or something, make us look all real silly.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I was saying in chat, Gorilla says spoon because everyone hates it. Well, that's completely true, yes.
Yeah. Oh, is that a... no, never mind. Take that back. I just want to quickly go through with everyone the fight back that Kale has had, because that off after 130R was absolutely massive. 30 extra seconds in the pits, and this is the reality of it right now. So he's currently, Jamie Convoy is 4.8 seconds, nearly 5 seconds ahead of Vediger. Vediger is 20 seconds ahead of McKellar. Bell is sitting somewhere around half a second or a second or so away. And then we've got Kale there, who's just behind Taylor, about another 1.5 seconds. So if I can do some quick math in my head, that's about the 30-second period there already. So he hasn't really made up a huge amount of time on the field, but he is coming up to the back of Taylor and Bell, who, with Kale's pace and racecraft, we should be able to navigate past. And then he's got to chase down McKellar, and then unfortunately won't be catching up to Vediger or Convoy, because that's a big 20-second gap. But might just be able to find McKellar on track. This could still be a podium for Kale, and that would be a really amazing recovery.
Would be a huge recovery, but I'm not so sure getting past Taylor will be that easy. We've seen already Taylor is on form. His drive at that opening stint was fantastic, and he looks really racy at the moment, so he's going to be trying to hone in on the back of Bell, who's trying to hone in on the back of McKellar. Now, they could all bunch up together, which looks like it's about to happen, so strap in. So this fight for the final podium is definitely going to go down to the wire, but I like Taylor here. I've just been watching him driving and just some of the moves he's been making as well, really decisive moves as well, and I think he was the last of the stop as well, so he's got the freshest set of boots underneath him as well. Lightest car, so looking forward to how this plays out.
Yeah, this will be exciting. I think you're absolutely spot on. You hit the exact point exactly on the nail there. Hale is probably in the final bit of really solid grip in terms of his stint, because he will have been running on these tyres for now 30 minutes. There'll be 40 minutes in about 8 minutes. But Taylor, as you said, on fresh as anything tyres, and you can see through the S's here, which is where that mechanical grip comes into play. Taylor making up bags of time on Bell. And yeah, I think you're right, actually. Taylor could absolutely soar through these couple of drivers ahead, and yeah, Kale's got a lot of work to do. Getting past is going to be very, very tricky. Might be able to do it on the high-speed sections, and look how violently they're throwing it into Degna 1. They're giving it everything here. But yeah, Kale actually already falling off the back of Taylor.
Taylor's on here. Bell just seems to be struggling at the moment in the Porsche. I do know I was following a Porsche last night, and one thing I definitely noticed, it does not like turn 1 and the S's at all. It was sliding a lot. There was some great sliding, don't get me wrong. It was the Drift Nationals video, look amazing, but definitely not quick. The one thing the Porsche seemed to be, I struggled to actually hold on to the Porsches through Spoon. I just couldn't, for some reason, just could not hold on to the back. But then right about here is then when the Lambo releases its party trick.
Yeah, exactly, and it just starts to fly. I mean, we saw this last week at Paul Ricard as well, just off the line. He just absolutely moves, and Convoy up in P1 is just at another fastest lap. So continuing to secure that P1, and what's going to be a very, very happy chap in that cockpit today in Convoy. So yeah, that was another great lap from him, but you're right, the Lambo just very quick off the line, gets to a very high speed very quickly. Doesn't necessarily have the highest speed out of all the cars here, but interesting to hear that the Porsche ahead of you was just not sort of handling things. I mean, the Lambo as well, was it the same with Lambo through Spoon, or was it a bit tidier through Spoon?
The Lambo through Spoon, for me, I find it's probably the best car I've ever driven through Spoon, because you can take that outside sort of green strip a lot more aggressive than you wouldn't say a Porsche or a McLaren. So I found it really enjoyable. Initial turning was a little weird, but yeah, through that mid corner on that exit, yeah, it felt great. I mean, I had confidence at Spoon, which is something you very rarely say. So yeah, no, I really enjoyed the Lambo Arena. It's in my top 5 now of car and track combos. So we'll never beat my number 1. Porsche brands, that's just heaven.
Yeah, everyone's got their own thing, don't they? I mean, I drive the McLaren at the moment because I absolutely love McLaren. I mean, I really should be giving these other MR cars a go. I mean, I should try the Porsche, I should try the Lamborghini, the Ferrari as well. Giving the Ferrari a bit of a drive, it's okay. I quite like it actually. Running high TC just annoys the hell out of me. So,
there's Woodcops a 10-second penalty, so that'll shake that order up there with Ben Deacon Lawrence as well. So we were actually watching that battle a little while ago, so that's going to shake things up there a little bit with that battle. But this battle is now really starting to ramp up with 14 minutes 50 to go. Taylor's got the eyes on Ferrari mode activated. Hopefully he hasn't got the Formula 1 pit strategy crew on the cans for him. Through 130. Oh, see that? That's what I was talking about right there. Just a little bit offline there, and it just feels weird. It does weird things. 130R. It's got a mind of its own.
That's why I'm terrified of it. Yeah. And the clown makeup has been banned from this circuit by the Ferrari team, so no clown makeup on the circuit at the moment. So no chance for those Ferrari guys to get any of that clown makeup on their faces. And big good run there from Taylor, but he's not going to have a chance to get past Bell. Very fast into the corners is the Ferrari. This is a great little bit of onboard going on right now. Taylor just looks very fast on entry, really secure. Doing a little bit of work on the steering wheel, a bit more than you'd maybe expect at this stage, but that's kind of the nature of the circus. You're trying to put the power down as early as possible, so you're counter steering, trying to fight. He's lost a little bit of time through the S's, but I get the feeling he might make it back up here in Dunlop. But those two Porsches doing well at the front. So what can McKellar and Bell do to stave off the Pro Driver and Taylor? So McKellar, at the moment, leading the silver class. Bell, who you see with the red tag there, is actually silver class, so they actually two top runners. Oh, that was a bit wide there from McKellar on Degna 1, so that's a little bit of a moment there, but holds onto it nicely. There won't be much opportunity for Bell to get past at this stage, and there's Begg off in the distance, but look at Kale. Kale's kind of closed the gap a little bit.
I was just going to say that. Looks like McKellar's becoming a bit of a cork in the bottle at the moment, because Bell is working very hard on the back of McKellar here. Oh, she's not going to try and move it Spoon, surely not. Well, this is bold and brave if you're going to try that. No, thinks better of it.
Yeah.
McKellar's wide at Spoon. Oh dear, he's done the dessert Spoon. Not good.
Yeah, I mean that's how you do the overtake. Is you fake the overtake and then you force the other driver to give you space, and then they unfortunately, if they make a mistake, that'll be it. And Bell does go through it. Oh, this is getting a little bit scary though.
Oh boy! So that was only 3 wide into 130 arc. I guarantee that's not going to work. Taylor now does a little shimmy left. He's going to try and go up at the triangle at McCullough. Is he get it done? He's just got to hold it around the outside. McCullough tries to fight back, but Taylor gets it done. So Taylor now up to 4th position. This has been a storming drive from Taylor. Absolutely fantastic, and that's going to give Cale a bit of a sniff here on McCullough as well. So McCullough, in the space of literally half a lap, has dropped 2 positions, and it may be a 3rd because Cale can sense the opportunity to gain a little bit more points and really limit this damage. This has been some drive from Cale. What a recovery drive, and gets it done at turn 1 as well. So Cale now moves up a position, so McCullough has had a half a lap to absolutely forget.
It's absolutely top stuff. I don't know what's happened with McCullough, but it might have just been the tyre life dropping off, might have just been trying to push it too hard and didn't quite find the consistency or the window that needed to be in. But yeah, great moves from everyone. Bell forces that overtake essentially at Spoon, not by contact, but with clever racecraft. Taylor goes through as well. That was a really, really good move from Taylor. I mean, he's just been on fire in that Ferrari. Something there is gelling very well. And even that slide on the exit there, some drivers would absolutely bin it based on that. But Taylor just keeping the head down, just keeping focused and doing what he needs to do. Now in the chase after Bell. And there's nothing in it between these two. I mean, we're under a second here, so there will be slipstream involved on the back straight and after 130R, and of course on the main pit straight. Cale's got a bit of work to do. I'm starting to come around to the idea that Cale's probably not going to get past Taylor, and I think it might be a little bit inevitable that Taylor gets past Bell as well. But again, that's a bold prediction from me. Whether it comes true or not, time will tell.
I just answered that question in chat there, though. Yeah, Cale stopped about, was it 6-7 minutes into the race? I know it was just as the pit window opened. So yeah, to have that pace still is incredible. That just shows the talent. You can talk about BOP all you want, you know, blah blah. Well, that's Ferrari.
That's one again.
Yep, off. But you can talk about BOP, whatever. It still takes the bloke or the person sitting in the seat with the hands on the wheel to actually extract the time out. And the best drivers just do it a lot easier than us ham-fisted slugs that we are, Cookie. But we do it with a smile on our face, though. That's the difference.
Exactly, that's right. We're enjoying ourselves while we do it, while we suffer through our races. Actually, you had a pretty good showing. You got top 10.
It's not about me tonight, but yes, I did get a top 10, just saying. As we are looking at Taylor, he's just really starting to work on the back of Bell here. But again, it's one of those tracks you've got to plan your moves, or if not so much plan your moves. If you see half an opportunity, you got to go. It's one of those places where if you go half-hearted, it's going to end in tears every time.
Yeah, absolutely right. I mean, I've had a few opportunities to overtake around here, and it was sort of like I could, but it would be a big send, and I had probably 3 or 4 opportunities where I could have maybe made some overtakes, and I did that. I did the hesitation. I did the maybe I shouldn't, and that is not the attitude that you need at a track like this. At Suzuka, it is full commitment or not. It is 100% or 0, and if you are anywhere in between there in the grey area, as you said, Sean, you will find yourself coming together with another car, making your intentions very clear, very important, and. Oh, yeah, it's just getting closer and closer. Taylor's just looking so good. He's got so much grip compared to the other cars around, and unfortunately he's being held up now by Bell, so he really needs to find a way to get past Bell. Bell currently in P3, holding onto a podium spot. Oh, defensive early.
That's a slight squeeze. Oh, that's as close as you want. That is some great racing.
Oh,
with a huge send. Oh, wow-wee.
Now,
how that didn't end in tears, I've got no idea.
Yeah, I think Cale probably realised the ambition of that move and decided, okay, I better just hold the brake here and back out of it because the door's being shut rapidly. But if he had made that work, that would have probably been the overtake of the day, because that would have been 2 positions in 1 for P3 after a recovery drive. But it is very close. This is brilliant racing from these 3.
Cale in the last 5 minutes has found something. I know what he's found. the Lamborghini's gone past its little weird phase, and now it's into its nice phase. That's what I'm putting it down to that, and some severe big dose of talent as well. So this is a fight for the podium as well. So this isn't for you know 16th, 17th. This is a fight for the final set on the podium here. So this is on. This is sheep station stuff. Kale trying to go for the ultimate recovery drive. Taylor trying to get himself on the podium, I believe, for the first time this season. Someone may correct me on that, but I'm pretty sure it'll be his first podium. And Bell, well, that would be a huge result as a silver driver on the podium. So all three have nothing to lose. All three do have a bit to lose, and all three are highly motivated. Ladies and gentlemen in chat and viewers, place your bets.
Yep, place your bets, get them in. It's even Stevens for the punters today. We don't know who's going to have the better odds. I suspect none of them at this point, but this is critical for Kale in his championship fight. Being in P5 compared to P3 in terms of points is a significant difference, and that will make an effect after he's made such a good return to the top of the standings. To be down P5 and get only P5 points would be a big disappointment for him, but mega drive from all three of them, all looking for results. On the outside is Taylor. Oh, he's got a nose in there, but Bell closes the door once again, and both of them will get a slightly compromised exit there. This will probably help Kale, but that was really nearly an overtake there from Taylor, but Bell, very smart move there, sort of shutting the door and saying, no, you're not going to have anywhere to go, so sorry, mate, got to do it on the next lap.
I'm not sure sorry mate was the phrase I'd probably use, but
that's a very good point, actually.
As you can see there, the Porsche again through turn one just struggles. It really does not like turn one at all. Taylor really nice through the S, but look at Kale in that Lamborghini. It is so nice through this part of the circuit. But again, Taylor been really good through the S's. Now up through Dunlop. Now Dengers, here we go. This is where a slight error can cost you so much time. A little bit too much curb, a little too wide. Bell, that was beautiful. That was absolutely perfect. Ooh, a little wide there at Denga too, but gets a beautiful exit.
Well, sorry, I was about to say that. That's what Bell needs to focus on now is, you know, especially if you've got wearing tyres, you're not going to have necessarily the apex speed that you're looking for. Degners are a great example of that. You need to be focusing on exit. If you get a good exit every time, you remove the ability for that send to happen on you every single corner. There is hardly any space for opportunities here. You've got to be full committed if you're going to make an overtake happen. So usually it's from a mistake. That's why we see Bell, I think, just backing off into the corner exit and just trying to look for the launch. And you can see it sort of even Stevens out of the corner despite the tyre difference, despite you know, whatever slipstream's happening as well. And this is going to get pretty close once again, but they'll go single file through 130R, which is like, you know, becoming relatively rare with these three at this point.
So he's now on board with Taylor at the moment. Oh, it's Kale. Oh, Kale did try to go around the outside again. So Kale, again, another huge send, but that one hurt. That one definitely hurt. I think that might be curtains there for Kale. So it's now down to a two-way fight. Now, this is another thing you need to keep in the back of your mind as well. If you've got any fun tokens left, use them.
It's something that I'm still getting more familiar with. You know, if you don't have two track warnings on the board by the end of the race, you might have benefited from using them once or twice.
Yeah, sort of, it depends how your race goes. So if you're one of those drivers that is really good with track limits and you get to that final 5 minutes and you've got all your track limit warnings, yep, pull them out, use them. If sometimes, like my race at Paul Ricard, if you get 3 track warning limits in the space of 10 minutes, it's a long old day.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you've got to be very careful. You've got to be very conservative at that stage. No, you don't want to risk the penalty that comes away for that. That's for sure. It's just, but it's you know, that's one of those things, isn't it? You just you either got to risk it or you know a bit more conservative. So you know where are you finding the time? What corners are the tricky corners? Which ones are the ones that you're not so good at? I mean, for 130R, that's why I'm always doing a big lift through there, is because I know that I'll get track limits through that. Guarantee it, in fact.
So we've got 2 minutes 49 to go. It's starting to get to go time, as we'll just do a quick recap of our top 10 before we get back to this battle. So it is Convoy leading the way from Vedigar. Then this fantastic battle here between Bell, Taylor and Kale. McKellar just off the back there in the background. You can see Begg in 7th, Carter, Thistlethwaite and Lewis are your 10. Quickly, class leaders, McKellar leading Silver Class, Carter leading Pro-Am and Lawrence leading Am at the moment. And we are getting now to go time as Taylor gets a beautiful exit out of the triangle. That was a magnificent exit. He's riding the slipstream now. Bell's going to go defensive straight away. Does Taylor go around the outside of turn 1? This is going to be a bold move if he can pull this one off. Or does he try and go the in and under? He does go the in and under. Up the inside of turn 1. Does Taylor hold on to it? Bell's going to try and fight around the outside. Oh, there's contact. There's major drama. Huge contact, but Bell holds on onto the grass as well. I think Taylor backed down a little bit. But Kale's there, and there's a little contact between Kale and Taylor. Oh, my God, the race has gone off. This is unbelievable racing. Take a breath, Sean. Jesus.
Take a breath, and I did manage to fix my microphone button so I can now butt back in. What a little sequence of events we just had there. Taylor, that switcheroo almost worked out, but the contact on the exit, he definitely decided, hey, look, that's not fair game. I'm going to back out of that one. Let Bell have it. Bell had a good exit after that. Got himself back on track, which was excellent stuff there from Bell to continue to maintain P3. That was very close to being a massive, massive moment for all three of them, because Kale, as you said, Kale and Taylor getting together as well, but Kale, after falling off after that sort of misinformed or slightly bad attempt at overtaking at the final chicane, now right back in this, and we're back to a three-way battle short. It's all go.
It's in crazy stuff, and I'll tell you what, if this is going to go for at least one more lap. There is a sneaky white Porsche there in the background that's probably thinking, keep going. Keep battling, keep battling.
Yeah, too right. And that sneaky Porsche, by the way, that is McKellar, who's creeping up on this back of this battle. It's only 1.2.
Oh, here we go again. Sorry to 130 up. Bell comes across. Taylor says, oh, I was thinking about it, but no. Now they're going to head into the triangle. We're going to see a full send again from someone. Kale's going to try and go in the outside again. Oh, there's a little bit of contact as Kale sends it around on Taylor, but Taylor holds on again. Oh, the big sideways, but no one is off on the fence. That is incredible driving of Bell. Has got a huge break now. That could be enough.
Oh man, my heart rate right now is going off the chain. I can't imagine what it's like for these drivers. They're all so keen for it. Bell has been given a huge break here with Kale trying to take Taylor on in the chicane. And look at the speed that Kale's got. He's still trying to fight back. But there's that cheeky white little Porsche in the background, starting to find a bit of time. If something goes wrong at all in this last lap of this race, McKellar will be there to pick up the pieces. But right now, with Taylor now 1.3 seconds off the back of Bell, Bell could be staring down her first podium position here.
Massive. And we are on the final lap. This is incredible stuff. Unbelievable stuff. This has been a storming race between these three. I tell you what, Split Blue has produced some of the best racing we have seen all season in all splits. I have no problem saying that. But this fight is still going to rage on. But I think Bell might have just done enough here. We're going to go down into the hairpin for the final time. Bell a little struggling there in a Taylor. You can just see he's driving the wheels off that Ferrari. Just wants to get one more opportunity, maybe at the triangle. That could be his only chance here. But he's going to have to be absolutely perfect through Spoon. As we're heading back now to our race leader, Jamie Convoy. Stand up, applaud. This has been another absolute masterclass from Convoy, and he is looking like a real strong championship contender and takes the win at Suzuka. Vedigar will finish in second with one of those real quiet drives, but they're the ones you want. But back to this fantastic battle now. This is our fight for the podium. Bell looks like she's done enough here. If she gets in her first podium, she'll be jumping up and down, doing backflips and triple pikes. Looks like 130R through the last time. Now into the triangle. Just got to hold on, be nice and smooth. She gets a great exit, and Bell is going to be on the third step of the podium for the first time with a fantastic drive and a magnificent battle with Taylor and Kale. What a race that was between these three. Unbelievable.
Gymnastics for Bell.
Yep.
Gymnastics for Bell. Yeah, as you said, Taylor will take fourth, fifth for Kale. I'm really unfortunate for Kale there, but McKellar, good result, P6, Beg P7. Carter comes home in P8. Sissel-Waite ends up in P9. Very close battle with Lewis in behind, but flashes the lights, comes across the line, P9, P10 for Lewis, which will round up your top 10. Wood in P11. That, sure, was something else.
Unbelievable. Simply unbelievable. I mean, we've had some great races in Split Blue. You know, Nürburgring was great. What else? There was a couple others. Silverstone was pretty good. But I've got to say, that's close to race of the season so far for Split Blue. That was fantastic. As Bendy crossed the line there in 12th position. Unbelievable. Had everything. Great racing, close racing, hard racing. And that's what we love to see. So stand up, Split Blue. Well done. And everyone in chat going off as well. They enjoyed that. So that's what we enjoy. That's what I enjoy about commentary as well. I'm out of breath, I'll tell you what.
Oh yeah, like I was saying before about heart rate, right? So you know, there was a study done that says that sim racing, you know, get a fair bit of exercise, a bit of cardio involved in sim racing. Well, I can tell you there's cardio involved in commentary as well, because we're getting just as excited as most of these drivers are on board. But yeah, it's just when you see a race like that, it just gets the blood flowing at the end of the day. I mean, you know, late here, I'm not going to get any sleep. I'm not going to get any sleep, Sean.
Sleeps for the young.
Yeah, too right. Oh wait, I am young. Oh yeah.
Moving on.
Moving right along. But yeah, that was just amazing from Split Blue. Well done to all the races there today. Absolutely top stuff. Just recounting the final results here. And it was, of course, Jamie Conboy who takes the victory here. P1, P2 to Vediger in the Pro Class, and Bell overall takes P3 over in the Pro-Am, oh, sorry, the Silver Class, my fault. It is McKellar that takes out the P1 slot there, Beg, and then Thistlethwaite. I think that's actually going to be Bell who takes out the top spot there because we've got a slight entry list error. Pro-Am class, looking over to Pro-Am, Carter from Lewis, from Wood, your P3. And then finally in the Am class here, it is Lawrence, Ring, and Sebi. Sebi was a little bit further up the grid there, but unfortunately does not finish in the top spot. But Lawrence, good result for them in Am class. So what a race, absolutely top stuff. And of course, it's not over yet for everyone in chat because you've got another race coming up. You've got Split Red, Split Blood coming up momentarily. And we will have the likes of Damiano, Conahine, and Grant in the chat room momentarily. But Sean, you know, it's rare for a commentator to have no words. Apart from the usual round-out words, I'm speechless. That was brilliant.
Completely speechless myself. That was unbelievable. Driver of the day, as Diebol said, it's going to be very hard, but my driver of the day is going to be Bell. Up 9 places, holding on for a first podium as well, so a huge drive. But a couple of quick shout-outs. Kale's recovery, unbelievable, simply stunning, and JC's simple masterclass as well, fantastic drive. But other than that, stick around, everyone, for Split Red coming up. We will have a short break, but we will be back for Split Red. But other than that, thank you, Cookie. And I just want to say a quick word to Connor Hind. Porsche is greater than Datsun.
Everybody, Damiano here, and welcome to the Simrigs Sprint Series at Suzuka Circuit, round 6 with Octane Online Racing. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Conahine and Grant Bed.
Good day, everyone. Good day, chat. Good day, Damiano. Keen to watch the race.
Yes, Grant's coming off one of these mega moves I saw in going to Casio Triangle. Let's move around the outside as we in qualifying here. So I'm going to cut you off there, Grant, but excellent move, and that really caught my eye. So we've got qualifying just started at lunchtime on day 2, and 13 minutes to go. Drivers will do 2 runs of 4. Is that what you guys would do?
Yeah, you want to really do a run of 4 to start and get that good banker in. But then if you get that good banker in within the first lap or 2 and you're really not improving, it's better to chuck a fresh set of boots on and run a bit longer for the second one, I think.
Thank you, guys. Just quickly go through the standings as the drivers are going to start their fast laps. We have John Pierre Sonicus, car number 44 in the McLaren, 680 points. Ali Karun, car number 732, Porsche, 257 points. William Torfield, car 711, Ferrari, 451 points. Sliding down to the silver class, we have Lucas Keys, overall P9, car number 2 in the Aston Martin, 312 points. Leo Dreyer, car number 70 in the McLaren, 296 points. Carl Johnson, car number 52 in the McLaren, on 286 points. Sliding over the Pro-Ams, we have, on the top of my list, in overall P14, Harsh Kumar in the Ferrari, 226 points. Ash White in the Porsche, 198 points, car number 928. And Pete Chalmers in car number 78 in the BMW, 180 points. And the M class, we have Barry Lau leading the championship, overall P28, car 94 in the BMW, 88 points. Now on page 4, we have a lot of drivers. Jared Richardson, overall P35, car number 22, Ferrari, 33 points, and Dylan Toohey, overall 38, car number 8 in the Aston Martin, 14 points. We've got everyone tonight as the fast laps is coming in shortly.
Yeah, you're watching on board here with Bush, who you really got to fire down the back straight here, coming out of Spoon, and really Spoon corner on this track is probably the worst corner on this track to make or break your lap in terms of lap time. And really, if you mess it up, you're going to get lose 3-4 tenths easily down the straight.
It's got this funny negative camber exit down, and I find it really slippery. I don't know if it's because of the wetness from the trees.
I find that the best way to get out of Spoon is straighten the steering very smoothly as you get on the power. It just calms the car down a bit more as you're exiting.
First lap's coming through. Car 44, 1 minute 59.6. I expect that time to probably go once. Oh, Ali Karudin's just gone a bit faster. I expect the times to be 1 more second faster. Thoughts?
Yeah, you'll looking at the drivers in this split, both the Sonicuses, Ali, Shady, those kind of level of drivers will do a 58 something as your top times. So I reckon probably a 0.6, 0.7 will be the pole lap by someone, and then they'll kind of filter through to 59s and 00s, I reckon.
Yeah, we're seeing. Oh, there was some Sonicus was up by 1.5 seconds. So we got JP. It's 0.67 up, so that brings him to 59 flat halfway through the lap.
Coming into what you said, Connor, was the worst corner. Spoon is just going to make or break his lap. He seems to be staying quite steady at 7.5 tenths up, going down the back straight into 130R. Extremely high speed corner. Does he just do a little lift, or does he brake? Just a big lift actually. 244 was his minimum speed, so very fast for you there.
Whoa, it's pretty quick. I find the track limits at the Exeter Spoon is the the curbing there, so it can go quite wide. But again, with it being a negative camber, once you start going wider, it can actually really drag you out there. As he crosses the line, P1 with a 58.977, cracking the 59 barrier.
Yeah, it's a good banker lap by JP, really, and especially leading out. Like, you watch his line, he's very smooth, very consistent. I reckon he can find a bit of time in the Casio Triangle. It looked a little bit unsettled and unstable through there, so I reckon if he can kind of fix that up, I reckon he's probably gained another 10th or two.
In the early marks, over on P6, Dreyer, he's our second class runner in the Simrigs Series. As that's been smashed by Zuili, and Dreyer's moved up first again and dropped again as the more times come through. Someone takes the second Degner in the alternate strategy with the grass. So we had JP go around the car going off the circuit there, getting still 2 tenths up, dropped a little bit outside of the hairpin. As he passes through the 200 corner into Spoon. I've got my circuit map here for the extra name. So this part of the circuit is called Backstretch. And leading up the hill and crossing the hill, dropping a little bit of time there, 0.1 of a second. Before going into the 130R, where we are now, that's called the crossover, because it crosses over the circuit, through 130R, very committed.
Oh, he's committed there in that corner. He's committed. He's gained another 2 tenths on that. Let's see how he goes through the Casio. Yeah, he's got a little bit, lost a little bit on exit. It's going to improve a little bit, so it'll be a good. He knows it's there. If he can just shake it up for the next couple of laps, get some fresh boots on, get some fresh rubber on.
I'd say this is with just under 7 minutes to go. This would be the time to slot over to your second run. There's a few more yellows come up on the circuit as I think drivers find that they're not in the positive delta and going to the pits and refreshing tyres.
If you look at the timing board, both the Sonicus brothers had exactly equaled their time. That is incredible.
What a coincidence.
There's a glitch in the matrix. J Sonicus and J Sonicus at the same time. That is really good.
I still debate on whether they're in the same room, like looking at each other's monitors. I still debate that.
I reckon it's the same person, but on 2 different rigs. And it just got it synced up. It's conspiracies everywhere.
Is we're on board with Tafiq. The Ferrari is a good car here, along with the Lambo. Probably your 2 better cars here out of the whole pack. He's taken a nice consistent line through the SSE. If he attacks Dunlop, you can gain a lot of time. Well, he's probably a touch bit wide there. You really want to kind of clip that curbing on the inside to kind of pull you around. If he can attack Degner, let's see how he goes. Yeah, nice line through there, really taking it hard. Oh, he's a little bit wide. He's gained a little bit of time though, so can't complain there.
It's half a tenth up, pushing very hard through that second Degner. Braking really well into the hairpin. Oh, braking really well into the hairpin. Dropping a little bit off on the acceleration now. Do you find that you would drop your TC as you exit the hairpin there, or you just stay with the same settings? As he heads into the spoon curve, gaining a bit of time there.
Than me last night, so I'm also, like, being a Ferrari driver, I run the TC quite high. I'm normally 5 or 6, but I was dropping it to 2 or 3 for mostly every lap around the hairpin, because otherwise you don't get the power delivery out of the corner that you'd really need or like.
Going through 130R, still maintaining the 1/10 up. This won't get him any position, so got to find an extra 4 tenths. But we'll consolidate 4th position as we have Maddox in the pits not setting a time. Crossing the line with a 59.3. Whoa, a lot of round numbers tonight. Still got time for a new set of boots and set of quick laps as the cars exit into the pits and giving way to drivers on a fast lap. So currently we have Jean-Pierre Sonicus over Jean-Pierre Sonicus over John Sonicus, Shady Samuel, Torfik, Maddox, Mags, Drea, and Zahuli.
It's the general normal characters, it seems to be, from Red last week and probably for the whole season so far, who are kind of occupying those top spots. Is Ali Karuden jumps up into P7. That's a good lap for a Porsche. It's not a typically strong car here. Just ask Brad Cook from MRT. He'd tell you.
Yeah, and with Karuden, he's P2 in overall in the championship. He's still quite way off in points-wise, being 228 points away. We'll need to get some 4 races to go in the season, including this one. We'll need to get some wins in.
I heard that the Porsche's really good in the wet here, though. So Karuden might just be begging for some rain to come in.
So you're suggesting he's going for a wet setup? Nah, just... Oh, that Bentley going very wide in Degner too. As we have 2 Karuden's up.
It'd be interesting to see, actually, with a bit of spice in the race, if it did turn out to be raining, just how much pace he can maximise out of that Porsche. I haven't driven the Lambo. I don't know what it's like, but the Ferrari is typically pretty good in the wet too, so be interesting to see, definitely.
Big slide through Spoon there. Didn't lose any time. Actually, if anything, Karuden's gained 1/100th of a second with that power slide through Spoon.
It's just an awful corner, it is. You never get it right, no matter how many times you do it.
Very bouncy through 130R.
You're gonna hate me for this, Connor, but
invalid. Yeah. Need to take a lot of the curb there, as Bentley's having a lot of trouble getting around. Yeah, that Casio triangle, need to take a lot of that curb to get a good time. A lot of traffic here for Shady Samuel.
He's got, even though it's invalid, he's got another lap in. I reckon he can. He's obviously shown the pace that he can get 2 or 3 tenths up the road, as can probably John and JP. So it'd be interesting to see who can kind of settle it down and nail it in this final lap for most of them.
As we've got Maddox and Mags in qualifying grid 6th and 7th in the pits. Also got Shady Samuel, just 0.7 off, as you're saying. He's got it in him. We know that. We've seen it.
Here it is. I love that car. That Porsche with the Atlanta Hawks logo on it. That is my favourite looking car of this split. It looks amazing.
Well, here we go. Zahuli on a very fast lap. This is a pole lap. If it can be kept, keep it together. It's quite mesmerising to watch him go around the spoon there. Very wide, keeps it well in. A little bit of room left there on the exit. Drops a bit of time, drops a 10th.
Yeah, I wasn't maximising the full exit out of Spoon last night because I guess the key out of Spoon in the Ferrari is just to be on the power as early as you possibly can be and comfortably with...
He's attacked the Casio and he is gained 2 tenths back. Dropped a little bit of time on the exit for Casio, keeping close to the wall. This is
that's a good lap. Bang! Good lap by Zahali. That is great.
Mega effort. Oh, an invalid lap there for Jean-Pierre, so that's not going to count as qualifying comes to the flag for him.
Oh, Shady. Shady's still up.
Oh, poor
exit. If he can hold, all he needs. Yeah, nah. Good.
Second?
Oh, it'll be close. I reckon that's first, I reckon.
Oh, very tight.
Very close, very close.
And got John coming through still. Don't know where he is on the circuit. All still worth a run. Valid lap, 1/10 down. very challenging to bring. Got to bring. What's that? 3/10 to get pole from here. It's going to be challenging. Depends on the exit, as you say, for spoon curve.
He only actually needs a 10th to get pole. He was a 10th or 2 down already. If he can really attack 130R and the Casio, it's still in from here. It's only a 10th to gain.
That's where Shady got it, was under braking for the Casio, so different car, of course.
Yeah, it's just how confident you can be. And let's see. Ooh, nice. Let's set the line. Good line. Ooh.
Oh.
Unlucky, John.
Yeah, it looked like a big cut there, but it's better steering angle. But still pushing to prove a personal point that the time was there. Never give in. Keep going. So early. Silver class driver on pole. And with Shady Samuel in second. John Pierre Sonicus, number 44. John Sonicus on 555. I've just lost my screen there. And we're swapping over hamsters. And the vision will be back shortly.
Yeah, I noticed that it was a little bit wet out there. Bit of rain has been dropping since qualifying. So maybe the Porsche of Kyruden can really show what they've been doing.
Yeah, I did see that with the weather, honestly. It's a bit of spice to add in there to the mix for the drivers.
It really is. I thought you guys had taken the mickey out of me. That's awesome. Oh, this is just a screen cap from earlier. All right, I get it now.
I wonder if anyone has done some wet weather practice in prep.
I know I did, but it doesn't count for this race. But yeah, so we got heavy rain, was it, for the first 30 minutes? Was that correct?
Yes, I believe it's heavy rain till 30 minutes in, then it's heavy rain minus.
I'm going to say heavy rain throughout the race. If it was me driving, I'd go full wet setup from here. Which is dry setup and straighten the canvas and brake balance and whatnot. What would you guys do? Oh, and what are you thinking? That would quickly go through the top 10. We've got Zuli, silver class, and Samuel, John Pierre, John, Taufik, Kyruden, Maddox, Mags, Dreyer, and Hill holding up the top 10. And a Pro-Am, we have Murphy in P11. So thoughts on the start, guys? What would you do? Wets or stick with dries?
I'll probably do what I did on the Silverstone Enduro, put on some dries and hope for the best.
You mean dry setup with wet tyres?
No, just put on some dry tyres.
Oh, I see what you're doing. Did you do that? Oh, no.
Yeah, wasn't fun.
I double stinted wets accidentally. It didn't work out for me.
For me, personally, if I was on this grid, you'd probably be looking at a dry setup just in case it does dry out. Oh, look at that Atlanta Hawks car. I am all for it. Look at it.
That car. Oh, teeth car.
Yeah, I would look at a dry setup just in case. I don't really know how long it takes to dry out because, like, obviously different circuits take a quicker to dry out than others. But yeah, I'd be looking at a dry setup, chuck some wet tyres on. You want to go longer as well because you want to obviously maximise not doing multiple stops. I know it's only a one-stop race, but you want to at least run until it changes, if it does change.
Right. So you'd be going for like a 40-minute for your first stop?
Yeah, you want to fuel up at least to 35, 40, I reckon.
We'll see how the other drivers make their guesstimates. So tonight's race, as you were saying, Connor, is a 60-minute race with one mandatory pit stop for tyres. Refueling is optional. Pit window closes and opens and closes 5 minutes from the start and finish. And I think the pit lane actually opens 1 minute after the race starts. But if you make a pit stop within the first 5 minutes, it can, as long as you don't take tyres, you're right. But if you take tyres, you'll be able to stop go 30 to ensure what's the word? Equivalency. what do we got out there? So we got in the Silver Championship, we have Lucas Keys, who's leading over Dreyer and Johnson. So Dreyer and Johnson. And also the Pro-Ams. We have Height, Number 95, leading the Pro-Am Championship. Oh, wrong page? Wrong page. Sorry, guys. I have multiple pieces of paper I prepared tonight, more than what I normally do. It's Harsh Kumar is our Pro-Am leader in car number 17. And down in 16th. So we've got Murphy, King and White. Yeah, getting through the swim curve. The drivers will be getting told to get into double formation soon. And I'll leave it to call the start. It's going to be pretty hectic, mate. Hope you're up for it.
Yeah, we'll be right. We'll call the start from here. Yeah, see them. They'll come down double file right now. So you got Zuhali on pole, Samuel in second, JP in third, John in fourth, and Tafiq in fifth. Normally a wet start, I may jinx the entire grid here, and I'm really sorry. But normally a wet start encourages more cautious driving, as we probably see them all pile off in the T1. Nah, we won't. Anyway, they're coming to the Casio Triangle. Nice, good looking grid there. If that one McLaren could kind of get up the grid a little bit more and not have that gap. We'll see how we go. They're rounding the final corner now. You can really see the wet patches on the circuit, and the dry line is there a little bit. Zuhali and Samuel leading the field, making their way down. When are we gonna go green?
It's a long hole.
Yeah, it's a long hold. Probably, yeah, it should be going soon. We're getting there. We're getting there. Just hold on, everyone. And we're green, and we'll go. And Zuhali and Samuel both get a good start. JP and John also get a good start. They're firing down into turn one. Oh, Samuel. The leaders have done the no-no, unfortunately. Just hold on, guys, on your rejoins. Safe rejoins. Come on, guys. That is allowed John Pierre Sonicus in the Kovacs Kebab Shop. I love that name so much. To take the lead. Kai Rudin has been a massive benefactor of that and jumped into P2, and the safety car has been deployed.
Was there another incident after turn one?
Rejoin maybe, yeah.
It's like John had a moment that slipped behind Kai Rudin, or further back. I think only dropped one spot there. Yeah, it was a shame for Zerli. On pole, led the field around, and unfortunately, slippery turn one, and bad things happen. I didn't see exactly what happened. I saw two cars go off, so I'm not going to say what's what, but I'm sure we could potentially get a replay.
It looked like that Zuhali, like Shady had a bit of a run on the outside. It looked like Zuhali kind of just like outbroke himself, just trying to hold that inside line, and kind of in the wet on cold tyres as well into the first corner, just kind of ran that little bit wide to turn Shady around.
I think the good thing out of that, if there's any positive to take, I don't think there'd be a high damage for that contact. As we, the weather update, 30 minutes is back to heavy rain, track is wet, and the temperature's 18, I love that mono joke, I'm sorry. Temperature's 18 ambient, 22 track, and we have very little wind, so I reckon no change in weather. I'm still saying heavy rain to the end of the race.
Look, as is said in chat, Meg has told me that I am very wrong, and I'm sorry, Meg. I now realise my mistake of that I'm wrong, looking at the forecast of it still being raining. So it's probably going to rain the entire race.
But you said it yourself, you're never wrong.
Even when I'm wrong, I'm right.
So you're right.
I abstain from further comments regarding to rightness or wrongness. All I'm saying is the restart will be kicking off soon. As the driver's heading down to the Casio Triangle, you can have the restart on us. Connor, go for it.
John, JP has started the fight. Oh, that's a wide line there. That is really wide, but he seemed to have got a good exit. I don't think the Porsche can keep up in a straight line compared to the Macca. As they fire down the turn one, everyone seems in single file to be getting away safely, which is good. John firing the Audi down in turn one. Oh, that's a wide Lambo by Maddox. John's going to have a little look up the inside. Oh, you don't really too wide through here in the wet. Come on, guys, let's settle it down. Nice, good clean racing. You got Mags just behind him there. Just he'll keep his wits about him and just have a look.
Looks like on the restart, everyone's got through it. Didn't see any yellow appearing in turn one, so everyone's kept it going there. But getting through the S's, that'll be really challenging with the cold tyres until they get up to temperature. Kairuden's got fastest lap of the race. It's even I know I'm quicker than that. 2 minutes 57. I know it's raining, but I think it's a slow wet time there, as I say, tongue in cheek. So we'll see. I found the Porsche when I was driving it last night had really good grip going through Dunlop corners. As we see, John Sonicus, did it get tapped there or just a little bit of over-braking?
That was Tafiq going into the corner there. It's allowed Maddox and John to both have a look at him. But I reckon they'll settle it down. You've still got 55 minutes left in the race. Like, no point forcing the issue right now.
And there's also a pit stop as well. So yeah, even at this stage of the race, we've got a couple of stragglers at the back of the circuit after they got through the S's. But early pit stop potentials as we look at John Sonic has been under pressure from Mags.
Maddox seems to be maybe going for a move as he just sits back, maybe wanting to get a good exit, go down the inside at the chicane. He's gone around the outside. Just John Sonicus gets a little better braking, going through the last curve onto the main straight.
The pace through the 130R really changed. There we go. That's more representative time for the wet racing. 2 minutes 10. I think there's a couple more seconds these guys can grab. As John goes very wide. And Maddox follows him through turn one, going very wide, which has allowed Mags to catch up a little bit further.
Yeah, it's allowing Mags and Hill to really tag with these guys. Or it could be a 5-car battle pack soon for this kind of bottom step of the podium, as Ali and JP seem to be streaking away a little bit. They might have set the car up a little bit more for the wet, we don't know, but they could also just be adapting to conditions.
Yeah, and also leading, you can actually see it, depending on how you've got your computer set up, whether you see the spray or not. As we have Maddox having a look into the Degma. That would be a tough move to handle. Going to Degma 1. Degma 2s, everyone gets through very neatly. Any diving coming up into the hairpin? Doesn't look like it.
You'd kind of be a bit silly to dive really from that far back, even in the dry. So I reckon a lot of them, they're very talented drivers on this grid, so a lot of them will have their wits in their heads about them. So we'll just see how it plays out over the next 10 odd minutes.
So in the silver classes, we have Johnson and Marco in position 8 and 9 in 1 and 2. And we have, there's a contact. It's a roundabout car.
Yeah, it's Bushel in the AMG.
I was just about to call him.
I wonder what's happened there. Don't tell me I've cursed it again.
No, you didn't.
Hopefully not.
It was about to be me. I was going to say in Bushel in P3 in the silver class. That's going to fill his day. It's going to be. He's last now. Unfortunate there. Still time to get it back in the wet. If you're hooked up, it's going to be an exciting race. Probably more exciting than what you probably want it to be. There we go. This is the times I was expecting for a wet drive here. 2 minutes and 9 for Jean Pierre, our leader. Stretching the lead out over Kairuben by 0.2 for that lane.
I believe Jacob Fleming might have been involved in that instance, since he's dropped a few spots off of the leaderboard now. Maybe he was involved.
Here we go.
He was involved, but he wasn't the direct car involved. That is a... Hold your brakes, guys. Hold your brakes. Nice. Everyone got out of there a little bit, except for, obviously, Mark. He wasn't the big benefactor of that.
That's so unfortunate. Just having to stop on circuit while someone's facing you.
He's still tagged onto the back of the pack. Like, he's not like a portion of the track down. It might be worth pitting early. I don't know. He might also be assessing the options over the next couple of laps.
Yeah, 1 or 2 laps. Wouldn't wait too long if you're going to make a decision. Oh, I'd go. Could be pretty quick. Oh, first penalties come through. Jump start for Marco, car number 124.
A bit naughty, trying to gain the advantage on the start. That is a little bit naughty.
Maddox goes wide at Spoon, my favourite corner, going down to 200R, I believe. Backstretch.
There you go. Yep, 200R. That's after the hairpin. Well done before Spoon curve. Yeah, well descriptive corners we have here in Japan at the Suzuka circuit.
Let's just take it back 2 steps while we watch these guys duke it out on track. What did you say about Spoon, Grant?
A great corner.
Grant.
Okay. I put it in the confession booth. I confess.
We'll have a chat about this later. As Tafik and John tagging each other along. The gap to Kyrune now is 1.1 from Tafik. So, no, sorry, it's almost 2 seconds to Tafik and Kyrune. It's 1.1 to JP and Kyrune. So, they're slowly starting to spread out a little bit.
Still keep up really good pace for wet driving there, as we have another penalty for P11, white for a jump start, and yellow causing collision on lap 3. That potentially could be the hairpin incident, unfortunately. It's roughly the right positioning, P23.
Yeah, I'd imagine it is to do with the hairpin, which is unfortunate, but also in the wet, you can more mistakes can be had. You got to be switched on a little bit more, but also he could probably work around that pen to see if he can, outdrive it in a sense. So let's see how that pans out.
There you go. I've got an observation for you. Back in the mid pack, something's kicking off. Last race, who had the widest ass car in Polar Car? He's currently in position 15.
I believe that would be the Tic Tac BMW of Chalmers. He was very wide and very thick, defending for Paul Ricard for his life, catching possibly one of the best slides I've ever seen in my life. So, he's leading a train here. He's leading an absolute train of cars.
How good is this? He is doing it again. Go Pete Chalmers. Respect in the wet. Well, good line through there. That was well done. Kept it off the curb at the side of Spoon. A little bit wide on the exit to Spoon. Going to go wide through the exit. Oh, very close to track limit, but you can go that far and not get track limits there. I think he's got an excellent run going now. So he's got a little bit of distance, which has put Dreyer on the back of J-Lab. This is a tough corner in the wet.
Dreyer had quite a big lift into 130R. Maybe outbrakes himself, gives John Rad a tap, cuts the chicane. That's extremely unlucky for John Rad. He will not be happy about that.
Yeah, unfortunate. We'll see if Pete can keep the distance there with the 2 cars being taken out that little battle pack there. And just before, we had the 2 leaders doing fastest laps consecutively, 1 and 2. It was the car, Dreyer and Zikri go wide turn 1. Zikri getting a better run through.
Nice to see a Bentley out here in the field. Zikri matching it with the other cars, with an older car definitely. Hopefully he can keep making his way up the grid. It'd be nice to see a Bentley poking its nose towards the top 10, top 12 area.
And my favourite class in this championship? And class, we have a new leader to talk about. We have Tui car number 8 in the Aston Martin, currently running P28 with the A class. Go to it. Here's the boat in the wet weather. Sikri.
Oh, that was a big slide by Drea behind. The Bentley actually looks... I've never really driven it. My Enduro teammate Ben Hignett swears by this thing, or used to. But I wonder what it's like in the wet. So if Ben could comment in chat, that would be awesome. I really love that killer racing car too. That looks awesome.
Every time I read it, I read Kit Kat. It's so well done. I can't see the word killer. I see Kit Kat. Oh, as was it? J. Doe went wide through Spoon, kept it. Good exit. I think we got Bozek in the Lambo. Might be getting a bit of a run there on Killer.
Yeah, the Lambo's pretty good around here in most of the circumstances in the dry, so I imagine it wouldn't lose too much pace in the wet. Just to clarify, Ben has dropped in chat and said boat 1.7 to 1.8 was amazing, so I'm guessing boat 1.9 is not in his vocabulary.
So who's sort of struggling in the Casios is Judo. We really had the killer car of Kilby getting to the back of him. As we see Chalmers again being very wide berthed. As these guys are doing 2 minutes and 11s, 3 seconds off the lead pace. As Calico Rudin did a 2:08, close to flat earlier. But these guys are struggling through turn 1, the exit turn 1, or mid corner turn 1.
Being in such a big battle pack like this too, they're probably also dropping a little bit of time to the front guys just by kind of manoeuvring around and, like, you know, trying to take lunges here or there, or trying to keep the car on track and not hit the car in front or behind.
Oh yeah, it's brake sooner, right? When you're fast. But how much sooner in the way? As J-Rad got a penalty for a lap 1 contact. Didn't see any yellow flags on lap 1, so it must have been not too significant. Well, Kairuden's caught up to Sonicus.
I think you're right on this one, Grant. That Porsche is looking very fast here in the wet. Be interesting to see if he can make it up to Peach's rear bumper and really kind of fill the mirrors and challenge him.
So Wiley's gotten a 15-second time penalty for the lap 1 incidents between the two leaders. So he was deemed at fault for that.
Well, that's going to
Really
hurt.
unfortunate.
Get your first pole. Then it rains when you're not expecting a wet race, because it was advertised as potentially a dry race, this one. As we watch, Kairuden's really swerving the car out. That part of the exit of turn last corner, is that what they call it?
Last curve.
Last curve, on the last corner track called last curve. I found it seemingly slippery. I had the short shift to get out of it without sliding out. You know, it'd be much more of a handful.
I wonder if that's just a Porsche thing, because I could literally plant the Ferrari just down there and it was fine. It wasn't slippery at all, so...
Ferrari's got good aero, heaps of grip.
I find it a bit slippery in the Macca as well, but that might be the setup being very angry.
Oh, he's getting very twitchy through there. Weather forecast from chat. Thank you, Tarquin. The widget says no change in weather.
Yeah, my prediction of it going dry and putting on a dry setup, I look back at it and it wasn't me who said it, and you can't prove it. I predicted a wet race.
Reardon's driving back with Sonicus. Now here's a challenging thought. Should Ali in a Porsche take an early stop to try and undercut Sonicus? Or if Sonicus pits, it's still pretty early in the race, only 18 minutes in. Bailing out. None of these two will crack under pressure, I don't believe. Curse coming? No.
You'd want to... So both of these guys seem to have the pace on the rest of the pack. It'll be interesting to see how it develops over, say, the next, like, say, 12 odd minutes when you get to the half race distance. But you'd literally nearly do what the guy in front or behind you does to cover each other off. So if JP goes in first, if you're Ali, you probably want to come in the next lap to cover off the undercut, and vice versa. If you're JP, you do the opposite of each other pretty much.
Yeah. I only went a little bit deep there on the entry to Casio. Potentially could have just not seen the braking point being in the spray. Unless, of course, Bonnecan driver, which I'm not sure if he is or not. Bonnecan drivers get no spray or windscreen wipers.
The man in first place, JP Sonicus, is a bonnet cam driver. I don't know how they do it. The car is actually inside the car, not in the bonnet. So, but power to their own, whatever, camera they use. It's just that in our team, we bullied Jacob Fleming into not using the bonnet cam anymore, as well as Grant Begg.
I done it for 3 laps and you gave me so much crap for it.
Sorry guys, first pit stops coming in. Dre and Zaluli have gone, both just got 15-second penalties. Dre just got one just now for contact on lap 7, I think it was, and they both entered the pits. So early pit stops for those guys.
Dre's contact would be on Brad into the Casio triangle, I think, from memory.
Yeah, that's about the right time. So I'm just going to go through our qualifying, and I'm just going to read out the names. I've got the qualifying list here, and you guys have a look for me and see who's been the best starters, best finishes. Oh, Chalmers defending excellently. I just saw that come up. That's fantastic.
Kiri seems to be very active on the steering wheel.
Gamepad driver?
Possibly.
Yeah, it's gamepad. Oh man, I have a lot of respect for those guys. Well, Chalmers gone deep. Gives a chance to Zul to get underneath. Not on the wetter part of the circuit, on the dry part. Cannot get the traction down to get away from the circuit. The killer cars has stretched the legs over Boswick in the Lambo. So, we had Zuli on pole. I know he and Shady Samuel had a rough start. Then we had John Pierre, John, in car 55, car 711. Then Kai Rudin, 732. Maddox in car 765. Mags, car 87. Drea, car 70, was P9 in qualifying. Hill in car 14 was P10. And then we got Marco, kind of 124. Our lead Pro-Am was Murphy, 101. Then going around 130R. King in the 911 Lamborghini. White, P14, 928. No, car number 928. Johnson, car 52. Kuma, car 17. Palmer, 21. Chalmers, car 17, who we're looking at. Bushell, car 512 was position 19. Position 20 was Rochford in car number 332. Kilby in car 6. Diallo, car 333. And P23 was Jay Fleming in car number 20. So, who's had a good start?
Well, Ali and JP really have been the main benefactors of that T1 nonsense, which is good for them, especially in the conditions that it is. I still think Zikri's having a great race here in the Bentley, like just doing God's work in the Bentley, really.
You think
Especially gamepad.
Go Grant. Yeah, the gamepad. It's so hard to drive close behind someone in a gamepad. I just reckon that'd be hard overall, and then in the gamepad just makes it extra tricky.
That's a car on the grass. Watch the rejoin. Just waiting for the cars to go by. That is, I believe, car 101. So it's Murphy in position, or was in position 12, I believe. Yes, it was.
Oh,
He's
no.
lost quite a few positions. He's off the leaderboard probably now. Yeah, I think he's in 26th position, because that was a Aston Martin that just went past him.
Probably just lost it on the exit of Deckman 2, getting a bit too aggressive with the curbing.
Yeah, the entry is quite slippery in the wet here, I think, as well. Just spotting your braking marker is quite difficult.
So would you believe that Jean-Pierre Sonicus and then John Sonicus both cracked into the excellent sliding Zikri through 130R? Wow, that was well kept on the paint as well. Good job. They just both did consecutive fastest laps, breaking into their 2-minute seconds.
Yeah, it's probably kind of like, it doesn't look like it, but the circuit's probably dried up just a little bit, especially with all the cars lapping around it. So they'll probably crack the 207s. Yeah, 206 by the end of the race may be possible. And as chat has discussed, and I'm glad that chat has discussed this and come to a common agreement, except for Diebols, bonnet cam, worst cam. We all agree.
We need a poll. The good old poll days. Yeah, that is our poll. So
And as Tarkin's just said in chat as well, a train is starting to form. So it'd be good to see how people go in the train, especially in the wet.
train behind whom? The excellent defending Chalmers train. We have to think of a new nickname for him. Ooh, Kilby gets one.
The qualification on lap 9. Don't believe I remember any incidents on lap 9 involving Kilby. As Chalmers goes wide at the hairpin, does the Killer's car have a run on him? No.
But looks at it, Chalmers has done that a couple of times now, and he's managed to maintain the position. I think a lot of that's keeping that position is actually the drying-ish line in the wet there. That's the here we go. Zikri went a bit wide and it's allowed that Bozic to get through. Well, Pitt's defending quite early already, going down the back straight, back cut, back stretch.
Well, he lost a lot on through Spoon there and probably compromised his exit a lot, so you got to really defend really early. And he's been pushed wide into the Casio. They're going too wide there. The Ferrari looks like, better drive out of the corner.
Yeah, under challenge through the 130R. He had a big moment there last lap, so challenging again second lap. Has another Zikri going for the pits now under Bentley. Quite a few pens on the leaderboard at the moment. We got 5. They're all big ones too, all 15-second pens. Some of these drivers are going to really have to fight back. Just need marker.
I suppose the big thing in the wet is that they're not lapping, like you're losing a good, say, 10, 11 seconds compared to dry lap running. So like the penalties, are quite big, but they won't lose out as much as opposed to like your normal dry running.
Kilby went wide through Dunlop, lost his position there. Did a good job keeping the car straight. So easy to end up in a wall through that. But I hear what you're saying. It's, the slower the driving, the less the penalty, so to speak. It's all relative, right?
Looking at the track map too, JP seems to have kind of held the gap to Kai Rudin when Kai Rudin pulled it in a little bit, but he seems to be either just edging away or just holding it steady now. So whether Kai Rudin's backed off a little bit just to settle in, or whether Page is actually trying to extend.
And at the other end of the field, we have Tui, our and driver, as Goshik going wide, allowing Kilby to go through Spoon. Spoon's making a lot of positioning happening. Tui currently leading over Mercer in the AMs in P26, P27, 1-2 Pro-Am class, and with the other driver having a 15-second time penalty. So consolidating there for Tui.
Yeah, I don't believe Karudin is following your strategy you thought of earlier, Damiano. I don't think he's going to do it.
Surely not.
I think he's gonna
a pro driver.
Don't believe he's going to go for an undercut right now. Maybe thinking about an overcut on JP Sonicus, depending on the fuel load they're carrying.
Just like to point out too, you've got King and White in the Pro-Am battle for the lead of Pro-Am in the top 10. So good driving by them. Harsh Kumar's there right behind them too, so be interesting to see how that battle develops for the podium. Marco as our silver class leader, I want to say. I can't say the top three. I imagine they'd all be pros, but Marco looks to be leading the silver class and is a few spots ahead of Johnson as we hop on board with Mags. Mags kind of in his own race here, just running a bit in fresh air. Maddox and John are keeping each other company. And it looks like, yeah, it's a good exit there by Maddox. I wonder what the Audi's like in the wet. I've never really driven it, and I wonder if it's a really edgy car to drive.
I'm going to leave it awful, and I'm not going to drive it.
Yeah, it was pretty bad in the Silverstone wet race at the beginning of the season. Oh no, that was a Honda, sorry, my bad.
Same, right?
Close enough. Rockets in the straight line.
As Toffee goes into pits from P3. Now, Carruden's dropped a bit back from Jean-Pierre. He's back to 1.8 seconds.
Yeah, whether lap traffic has had a play in that or whether he's just dropping back to conserve tyres a little bit. I mean, like, your wets can generally last quite a while as well, so it'll be interesting to see the strategy battles that will start to come into play.
And as we look at the weather forecast, there's heavy rain practically to the end of the race with just under half race done. We have 30 minutes and 38 seconds to go in the race. Weather conditions are still wet on the track. Track temperature is 18 ambient, 21 track, and the wind is still 1 kilometre an hour. That's mathematics having a big charge now at John Saunders. Oh, quadruple pit stops. We got Bosix, Roxton, Fleming all having a pit stops. They're all a couple of seconds apart, so no battles there. Fleming's has got himself a drive-through. You can get a drive-through on the pits if you're not too far over the pit speed limit. Normally it's a stop-go 30 if you go way over. I've actually managed to drive through... No? Was that limits for Fleming and not a pit stop?
Yeah, I believe it was track limits rather than a pit stop, otherwise it would give him the penalty after his stop. Unless he's serving it. Unless he's serving it now, actually.
I think he served a drive-through because his pit stop hasn't gone down. And doesn't say that he's in pits now, so he's now back on circuit.
He did say earlier in the evening that he was going to get a drive-through, 110%, so at least he's fulfilled that duty. I will also fulfill another one of my duties and say a really random comment about Jacob Fleming is the fact that his better half owns a lifted Colorado. Comment on that one, chat. A lifted Colorado.
Double-decker Colorado.
As we hop back on, as we're still on board with Maddox. And John's kind of edged a mini gap out with him, but I reckon Maddox will keep him company for most of the race. I don't think, like looking at it, I don't think they quite have the pace to challenge JP and Kyruden. But still, to finish like P3, P4 in these conditions, P5 even, it's a really good result if they can keep it up.
Okay, so in our pro-ams, currently position 8 King, he's 8th overall in the championship. And then we're looking at White and Kuma. Kuma was leading the championship and White just behind. The gap between those two is about, let's call it 30 points. It's not 30 points, but pretty close to it. Oh, shoot about a Hilux from chat. Ask him. I lifted Colorado. Chat's on fire tonight. Looking at the silver classes, we got Marco, who is I should have looked at this before. Well, let's a little bit in silver class championship because we have Keys leading the championship. Oh, it's all over the place. I can't read you guys. Take over, Grant. I need to look at my charts. Grant said to step out. I'm talking to nobody. Connor, you there? You actually
I am. Yes. Yes.
I just want to have a quick look and see the Silver Championship, see who's where. So, I'll just take over for a moment.
Maddox sets the fastest lap, 2:07.7. So he started to creep into the sevens. I imagine the guys in front of him, probably Mags, might be creeping into the 2:07s too. Bit hard to say with Mags being a couple seconds off. But yeah, they're all looking to kind of gain the pace about him now. Obviously, those wets would be like, probably coming into a window of being really gripped up. The dry lines forming too with all the cars lapping. As we watch, and Maddox has a Heinz logo on the front of his Lambo. I just noticed that, and I am impressed. That is very good. And chat is saying that Jacob Fleming has texted in the YouTube chat while driving. That is indeed a stop-go 30 by the YouTube police for texting whilst driving.
I don't know how people do that. I am fully committed when I'm driving. I even have trouble talking when I'm driving. How do people type while driving? I don't get it. It's so good. Kudos to you guys. Right, I've worked out. So we have Marco leading silver currently in this race, just with 25 minutes to go. He's currently in position 7 overall in the championship. He is what's my number? He's 3rd. I lost him again already.
So we're still on board with Maddox.
Sorry, he was 6th. And then we get Johnson, which I think is just pitted. Johnson was 3rd overall in the championship. And then we had Chalmers, who is currently running 3rd. Not Chalmers, sorry, Bushell, who's currently running 3rd, is 7th in the championship overall. So these guys are going to make some points.
Especially in a round like this, like the points will chop and change, and some people might have a bad race, as we've seen, like Bushell got shafted a bit early on. So it'll be like the points will be a little bit topsy-turvy, but it creates a closer championship towards the end of it, really.
Oh, absolutely. That's what makes the championship good. It's like you have some good races, have some bad races, everyone flip-flops around and changes. So our silver class leader, Lucas Keys, 312 points over Dreyer on 296. And Steve's really finishing. He's starting to build it up a little bit. With Johnson only about 20 points behind. And here's your car at the front.
That car by Palmer, he needs hats off to whoever designed his livery. Like, look at it. Look at it. It just looks so impeccable and tough. Like, you cannot say you don't like it.
Even the wings on the side. Really well done.
I know, right? It adds like an extra 5/10 of pace with the wings on the side like that.
I think so. Plus 1 level of downforce. I like the tail. Tail on the back, really good.
It also suits the black too, like the overall black scheme of the car.
What sort of paint? Is that a matte paint for that finish, or is it like a satin metallic finish? I think it's just matte.
You are asking the wrong person about how to design a car livery, as I literally just pay someone else to do it because I have no idea.
As is not a bad way of going about it. Just look at the table now. Tui's doing good. Quite a few positions over Gary Lau, who was making a pit stop from P24. Chad comments as well. Nice line with Palmer.
Mr. Father Fleming does know when he sees a nice livery, so that's good there.
And Zikri had a drive-through there. I'm not sure if that was... I didn't get to think that one through. Was that a drive-through for limits that got cleared? Because He had a pit stop earlier, didn't he? Yes. And then he had to do another drive-through. Ooh, a bad day for Zikri there.
Yeah, I believe so.
So it's getting really busy now. Yellow flag at the Casio Triangle. 2 cars involved, potentially. Looking by the white dots there. And so everyone who's not familiar with looking at the mini-map of the circuit on the top right there, the red dot is the car that we're looking at. The grey dots are all the cars that are not the red dot. The triangle going through the hairpin, that's our leader. If you have an incident, it'll be yellow, which did not happen there. And if the car's slower, I don't know what the time difference needs to be for a slow car to appear white. So they're the colours for the race.
He's on board with Peach. Yeah, he's coming up to some lap traffic, so it'll be interesting to see how he navigates through that. But he has done his stop, and Kyrun hasn't. So it'll be interesting to keep an eye on. Okay, so Kyrun's coming over the crossover down through 130R, and Peach is coming through the Degners. He may. Oh, it'd be tough to say whether he has the gap or not to be able to literally pull off this overcut. Be interesting to see. So here we go. Strap yourselves in. Kyrun's going into the pits. Nice entry there. Nice. Be interesting.
Not a super attack on the line there, but still very, very aggressive.
Yeah, I guess he played it safe. Didn't want to get the penalty because, yeah, you don't really want to get the penalty, especially in these conditions when it's easy to just be sliding so far over that line.
Well, here's one to watch. Max is making a stop over hill, and their time delta is, it's actually 11 seconds. Sorry, I was thinking about in-car timing. Because it's 11 seconds and a bit, 11 seconds and a bit. So Sonic has gone through. The car behind him is Gary Lau, our AM class, probably P2, I would say, at this stage of the race. Now it's all getting busy. Still quite a few cars haven't pitted yet. So we've got 14 cars from a 31 car grid, so about half the field still yet to pit.
Where is Kyrun in all of this? So this is your effective battle for P1. Kyrun's moving, but he's just lost out to JP, I think. Oh, he's lost out by quite a way.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if he got moved in the pits or if he just like dropped off a gap to JP like that. He's lost out a good... Oh, yeah, he's lost out a lot. Probably 5-6 seconds.
I'm going to say 8. But still, 5 to 8, that's... It was like 2 seconds was the gap before the pit stops. So that was a slow in lap or... Because the pit times, big slide there by Jean-Pierre, really getting the power down. Because even going into the pit, see, the time loss is not just in the stopping of the pit. Oh, wide. Keep it on. Yeah, still going. That was a very wide line through the Degner 1 and 2 area. But leading into the pits, you can also lose some time there. Oh, so Kilby gets another penalty.
Yeah, well, he's either had a really bad in-lap and overcautious, as you were saying, Damiano, overcautious on the entry into the pit lane, maybe accumulated with a move in the stop, we don't know, but...
lap traffic, or messy corner. I didn't see the lap time when we cut over, when we were looking at it, because you can see the lap time the driver was doing, but he needs to cross the line, so we wouldn't know on that lap. We'll have to have a post-race interview. So a lot of cars coming through and stopping. I wonder if people are actually stopping based on fuel or based on time. Because, like you were saying, we were discussing earlier, 40 minutes is pretty a good time, because that way you can work out whether it's going to be stopped raining and go dry potentially. Because it has happened before where we've had heavy rain and it just like a wall just stops, and then the track can dry up within about, I think it was about 5 laps. It can get dry again.
Well, we had that in our race in Green in Kyalami a couple of weeks ago, where it had that heavy rain shower for 7 minutes and then it just went dry like instantly. So you don't really know. and you kind of guess a little bit. Obviously, there's items out there like ACC Drive and stuff which will give you a better idea, but still you just don't know fully, like 100%.
Yeah, it's sort of like the circuit. When the circuit says fast, is it closer to the green side of fast, or is it closer to the Octane side of fast? And the same with the rain. You can have drizzle, but is it closer to not very much drizzle, or closer to medium rain drizzle?
Yeah, exactly. And then you got different layers of your optimum and different layers of your green and all that kind of stuff. So, and literally you only can really gauge off of the guys around you when you're racing. So you couple of guys in front, you couple of guys behind. And if they have changed tyres and they're lapping considerably faster than you, it's probably better to go in and chuck different centre.
Current leader entering the pits, John Sonicus. That looked very aggressive. The car was very twitchy through the turn there, and heavy braking on the line. And as you called earlier, it was 5 seconds between Kyrud and Sonicus as they're battling out for currently P4, P5.
Yeah, well, they're effective P1, P2 on the grid, so it'd be interesting to see where they come out as opposed to, like, John, who's in pits right now.
I think it was going to be at least 10 seconds. I actually wasn't keeping an eye on that one. But it's going to be a bit of a go. I'm really curious to see if Kyrud can actually close up the gap. We now have 15 minutes to go in the race. Roughly 8 laps, maybe 9 laps. So we're needing to close half a second a lap to challenge for a win, disregarding any mistakes. As we have John in the pit, should be leaving soon.
Been in a league of their own in this race, really. So John's battle probably wasn't with them. He's probably looking at a 765 Lambo in the lead currently, who he was racing pretty hard with in Maddox.
Yep.
So I reckon that's his battle for the day, for the bottom step of the podium, but still nonetheless a good result.
Diello, quite some way behind and for penalties, so not challenging for any podiums there. Chalmers, White Birth Chalmers, I've got to think of a better nickname. Currently P6, needing to pit. Yeah, that's right. Tarquin, I agree with you, mate. Some people going very deep, very long. So we have Maddox in the pits, and Killer Car in the pits, as well as Jacob. It's too hard for me to tell where Maddox is going to pop out. It's supposed to be pretty close to John, and potentially could get interrupted with Chalmers and Torfig if Maddox is a bit longer in the pit stop. Because that'll be interesting, especially if Pete needing car number 78 needing to make another pit stop.
I honestly reckon that John's going to get Maddox here. How that goes.
Uh-oh. Comment in chat, Maddox on dries. Uh-oh. We'll have to see how Maddox goes.
You can't be trolling us like that, JC. Surely not.
Oh.
Surely Maddox is not.
Tarquin,
Oh, he looks
second
slow.
opinion.
He looks... He is.
Oh, look
Oh,
on the screen.
yeah.
There you go. Dry one. Dry
Oh,
one.
no.
Whoopsie.
No.
Oh, that's unfortunate. But everyone was in the same position, so can't say you were caught out. Unfortunately, unlucky. Well, yeah, unlucky. And we
Just
Murphy.
consolidation at this point. That's all it
Yeah.
is. It's just consolidation. Try and retain as many spots as you can.
Yeah, checking. Well, they could have done the Ferrari strat in a dry Brazil one year where it looked like it was going to rain. They put Kimi Räikkönen on wet tyres and on a dry circuit, thinking it was going to rain, and it never rained. That's a long. When Kimi was in Ferrari, whenever that was, a long time ago.
And like everyone's done it at the end of the day. Like it's rough.
Oh,
it
yeah.
does suck. Just try and bring the car home. Rob, you've got it in you. You're incredibly talented.
You wouldn't think it'd be worth, 6 laps. 6 laps to go. Would you do it? 10 seconds a lap? I'd be inclined to pit.
You're then losing like so much between travel down the pit lane as well as your stop.
But the 10 seconds that you gain from wet tyres versus dry tyres at this stage of the race. Okay, maybe if it's a little bit, say 15 minutes to go, definitely change. But now it's right on the edge. And looking for a better driving experience.
Yeah, he might just be wanting to bring the car home because like that would be incredibly dicey out there on the dries.
If we look at the Silver Championship, we got Marco and Johnson, P11, P12. There's some good points to be had there. We're quite a long way back to Bushel in P3 in Silver class. With Zuuli, who was our pole man, unfortunately back in 19th. Challenging Bushel though. Can potentially make an extra spot to get on the silver podium. Tricky to tell what the Pro-Am podium is going to be, as we have Murphy and King and Kuma running. And still in the pits and dropping down. Bosnick still with the time penalty. And Karuda's actually catching up. What did we say? It was half a second a lap. So 5 laps to go, that was 10 laps. I reckon we're on for a very epic finish.
If he can get this blue flag in between them, like within the next, say, half a lap, we'll be on here for a bit of a ding-dong battle towards the end.
I know, right? Let's see how aware our blue flag driver is. Best place let through, I'd say here. Fastest part of the circuit, you lose the least amount of time rather than at the through the middle of a corner. As we have a car off at the Dunlop. That was car 17, I think. Tricky place to let through, but good.
It was a good let through though. At the end of it, like he stayed wide, stuck to his line, was predictable, and that's all you could ask of blue flags.
That's the other thing I was going to say with blue flag drivers. So anyone watching with Simrigs and Octane Online Racing, it's a little plug there for our primary sponsor. If you want a better driver experience in the wet race, get a new wheel, get a new base, and you'll definitely find more time. And by finding more time, you won't be a blue flag. Tell us how you really feel, Con. That was from chat. And what I was going to say was for the blue flags, being predictable is really important. As Murphy makes his pit stop from P6, and when you exit the corner, don't go straight offline and decelerate to allow the lead driver to get through. Accelerate out of the corner first, and then move off the line. Because if you slow down or you move the line too fast, the leader, Ali takes the first dignitive really hard, because the lead driver will run out of time to get around you as you slow down to get out. So, words of advice from a blue flag driver.
I just want to say, so Ali has caught JP this lap in 1 lap by nearly a second. We are on here, I reckon, for a battle.
It's going to be pretty epic. We also got... What timing we got? Oh no, that's interval timing. There's no big gaps for podium. P3 podium in silver class is looking pretty tight with Sahili and Bushel. They're 1 second gapped. AM class, unfortunately, not on this table. And the Pro-Ams is pretty decisive unless Rochford can close in on Kumar, our Pro-Am leader.
It's actually a really good drive back by Bushel in the silver class to be challenging for the podium after he got caught up in that incident very early on in the race and sent to the back of the field. So credit to him. He's shown the pace and gone on with it and got the head down. So
you know what? He's doing so well, I didn't realise how well he's doing. That's a good point, Alcon.
As we watch on board with Ali fire through this first turn. Ooh, bit slidey there on exit. Oh, as he goes around. Nice short shift there, stabilise the car. And look, you'd be thinking you can see Peach up in front, and you'd be thinking, oh, I'm catching, I'm closing. You'd be taking a few deep breaths, just saying, just focus, just keeping on track, just nailing. But really smooth inputs by Ali too, just to keep the Porsche stable and connected.
And that was an excellent let through on the blue flag there. It looks, for me, very predictable. And if you look at the mini map, what's in front of the triangle? A lot of space.
Yeah, these guys are going to be... I don't think that they won't catch the blue flags in front of them, so it's just literally going to be these two battling to the end. Hopefully this week, JP has remembered to put that slight extra dash of fuel in, as well as John.
It. Oh, you've gone there. Wasn't the low fuel a bit of a thing for the last round? Wasn't it a couple of people, or someone's done it a few times? What was the scenario of that one?
Yeah, JP and John started the last lap with 2.8 litres of fuel, but they had 3.1 litre usage and still got it home. It was incredible scenes, incredible.
Oh, here we go. He's apparently he's got 200 litres left. No, I can't read properly. 6 laps of fuel left in the car, so he's safe.
He has learnt. He has learnt. That is good. That is good.
And interesting to the finish as well is we only have Bosnick in P20 for penalty. There's a speed there too. Drivers are doing about 200 kilometers an hour through 130R. Taking very big chops out of the Casio triangle.
Macca looks incredibly planted over there too.
It didn't got any bouncing at all. I thought it was going to lose some teeth, even though I'm going to wreck. The next question is, ooh, Kyrudin dropped some time there, 0.6. As John Sonicus pulls out a bit of a lap time, a low 2:07. And 8 seconds back to 12 heats. So P3, without any dire things happening, relatively secure at the moment. Although Torfik has Max behind, so battle for P4 potentially kicking off. We'll have to keep a closer eye on the timing there.
Yeah, equal machinery too, so it's just down to the driver and who's set the car up or adapted better to the car and the conditions.
Yeah, just scanning through a list. We have Diello behind Chalmers. Oh, you're kidding me. This is going to be awesome. Diello, 0.3 behind Chalmers. We've got 3 laps to go. This will be defense of the century. Here we go.
And Zuhali, and also Maddox. She'll get a bit feisty here in this mid-pack battle now, as well as Maddox being on those super fresh wets too.
Oh yeah, very much so. And an option to take on an extra couple of litres if he was underfilled. Diello making a move on Zuhali. Nope,
I think Zuhali was overtaking Dilio, I believe. Maddox is going to have a look. Oh, good driving by all around. Come on, keep it. Nice. Nice. Don't get carried away, guys. Come on. Just survive. Just survive.
The best battles are at the back, right? We're in the mid-pack. 15th pace. I actually thought Maddox was going to go right through the middle. I really did.
Mid-pack racing, so mid-pack battles, when you first start out in like sprints, and if you're in the mid-pack or whatever, or towards the back, Holy dooly. They are, that is some elbows out racing in there. I tell you what.
I've noticed. I've had a couple of contacts in the last couple of races, so apologies to the drivers who know I am. Yeah, it's still I'm getting faster and learning how to drive hard.
It definitely teaches you car awareness, though, being in those mid-pack battles, having so many cars around you at so much of the circuit.
Yes, you got to keep the guy like the yellow here. You know, you want to get past Chalmers and then also defend against the alley. He gets a little bit offline, and you've got to get back online without ballsing it up and getting tapped. You know, especially in these conditions.
As we watch the best looking car in split red fire down towards 130R. Brad Palmer's Atlanta Motorsport Porsche.
Absolutely flying.
It even makes a Porsche look good. That livery does. It even makes a Porsche look good. I never thought I'd say it.
Good. The Porsche always look good. Come on.
Nah.
I like the headlights. It's really nice.
Nah, no comment. No comment.
Chalmers defends by keeping a very good straight line. No one can get an edge on him. This is going to be epic as well. 2 laps to go. Where's our leader? Leader's going through Spoon Curve.
Yeah, they'll probably have another one, I reckon. And it seems to me that JP has maintained or even kind of pulled a little bit more of the gap back to Ali. So unless something happens, that may be where they stay.
I think I got my nickname for Chalmers. We're going to call him a Crusader because he's a big defender. No, the Crusaders were aggressive. They went out and did things. We've got to think more defensive. Maybe I'll call him a Fortress. Fortress Chalmers. But Ferrari looked a bit twitchy. Really wanting to get on the power early to get up there. It's going to be tough because unless there's a mistake by the lead driver. Look at this pack. Was that 6 cars? Did I count that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 cars. One mistake. That's 6 positions. You go from 15th to 20th. Whoa.
Yeah, that'll be clinching. Oh, that's wide by Chalmers.
He's been doing that all race though.
I don't know. Is he searching for the dry line out there? But like, you'd think there wouldn't be a dry line out there unless he's just cooling the tyres off a bit. I don't know.
Yellow flag and what's that? 130R. Oh, when the corners get close together, I thought the leader was coming up to a yellow flag. My understanding is it's always wide on the paint. I think he might have lost a bit of traction there.
He's gone defensive though, so that's good. Dilio's going to try and tuck back in and hold around, but I reckon he'll sit. Ooh, that's close by Zahali behind too. These guys are kind of dropping the other guys off. Oh.
I don't think that dropped off. It was an overtaking manoeuvre that didn't work out. Defending again behind. Look at Maddox. Oh, a little tap there. Was that a contact?
If it was, it didn't affect the cars or unsettle them.
And that's the slippery bit of the exit to last curve. As our lead, as we've run out of time on this race, so we're going to close it all down now. Yeah, here we go. Maddox into turn 1. Hard. Keeps it over under. No. Maddox maintains the position for P19. Our leader's on the last lap.
So we watched page 5. Oh, he has missed the Casio triangle. Hopefully he's slowed down enough there to not get a cut or a warning or anything, or even worse. He seems clear. He's gone through that micro sector. And Peach has brought it home. What a drive. Good drive. Capitalising on what happened in front of him. Same as Ali. Good drive by Ali. Probably a big benefactor of that T1.
I think top 5, top 6, top 10 definitely have.
John crossing the line in P3. Another good drive. We see Tafiq coming across the line.
Oh, that was brotherly love.
That was brotherly love indeed.
There could be some arguments that could have gone bad. Don't do that, people. Yes. If people with direct drive wheels and you hit them really hard like that, you can actually damage the person's hands because the wheel will rotate very quickly. So Maddox pushing on again, making an extra spot. That's 2 positions in 2 laps.
yeah, he'd be firing through here, especially where he was right up the pointy end of the field. So he'd just be trying to gain as many spots as possible. Hopefully not driving too much with the red mist.
As we have our first Pro-Am across the line in King, he secures the podium for Pro-Am, and Silver Class Marco crossing the line in Silver Class.
P7 by King and Pro-Am. What a drive. Good result.
Oh, top, yeah, well done. I get lost in that sometimes.
So we watch Chalmers. He's defended the entire race. He has picked up cars in his train and he's just kind of battered them away and taken that wonky line through the hairpin. But what a drive. What a drive by all these guys in this pack.
Yep. Very little contact. Very well driven. Well done, everyone. So it's Chalmers, Diallo, Zierli, and Maddox, and Bushel finishing off that group. As the car was upside down going through the camera there. Did I see that right? It looked like an upside down car. A few cars across the line still. Everyone doing burnouts in the wet like they do at home. Zikri still to finish. Haidt crossing the line. And here we go, the AN class. Tui, Lau, and Mercer. Crossing the line very shortly. And that is Lau on stream again. Well done. P2, good job. In the wet, Suzuka, never easy. Still got one car to come through. That's Mercer. Is that him going through the Casio triangle there?
Yeah, he's coming through the Casio now, coming around.
Uh-oh. Is that a fuel issue? Or am I just seeing things?
It's been very slow, isn't he? It might be a fuel issue.
Oh no, we're watching Bushel. There's Mercer.
Oh, it's a damage issue. That is a very battered Ferrari.
So we were right. It was a slow car. Oh, made it to the end. Congratulations. Good job, Mercer. That is job well done. And that is the end of the race. Split blood, split red in Simrigs Sprint Series. If you did like watching the race tonight, don't forget to like and subscribe as we go to the end plates. In the overall race, we have Jean-Pierre Sonicus, Karuden, and John Sonicus finishing at the podiums of Tawfik, Max Hill, King, Marco, Johnson, and Kumar on the top 10. In silver class, we have Marco, Johnson, Zauli. Moving over to Pro-Ams, we have King, Kumar, and Rochford. Oh, good drive by Rochford. He made some few places there. Pretty tight there for P2, P3. And AM class, we have Tui, Lau, and Mercer all on the podium for AM class. Well done, everybody. Good job. That was some excellent racing. I wasn't expecting a wet one.
Yeah, it added a bit of spice. I did say it would add a bit of spice when I said in quali, so which is good. It provided good racing too. It provided close, hard racing.
Yes. More content coming up. We have the Sim Magic GT3 Cup this Friday night with the Pro-Ams first and the Procast second in the evening. And tonight or very early AMs or later AMs, we have the European and North American Sprint Series happening as well. So I'm Damiano, and thank you for sharing the booth with me, Connor.
Thanks, Damiano. Thanks, Glenn, for the stream. Also, everyone, give a shout out to Mole. He's slowly getting better, but also all love and thoughts sent his way. Thanks for having me in the booth. It was good.
And a follow-up on Bolt, he's back home now, which is really important, so I'm very happy to hear that for him. And shout out to Grant Begg, who drove in Split, what's the name before this one, and had to leave the booth a little bit earlier tonight, but he was commentating earlier with us. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.